It has been 6 months since an unnamed party of ragtags took on Wave Echo Cave, took on the Red Brand Bandits, dealt with a bunch of orcs, met Hamun Kost, a delightful fellow, tried the patience of a banshee, and also dealt with some gnolls on the road and saved a child. In those 6 months, you'd have been up to many things, but the work itself had been a bit slow. The party had split, one seeking contracts far off, constantly on a self-destructive attitude. Another crawled inside a bottle, while only one of them actually did anything productive. Although it was with a goblin, so that's sort of questionable. But now, the three of you have finally met face to face after quite a few moons. You are all given a missive by Sildar Hallwinter, good egg, and currently still the mayor of Fendelver itself. Paperwork moves slowly and he's not been able to change the position yet. It just simply says, there's work to be done. Meet at the Stonehill Inn. Which is pretty easy to do because two of you fucking live there. And there he is. It is midday. Sildar himself seated at the table. And he waves to you. Hail, my friends! Oh, hello, Siegfried. You're doing better, I see.
Yes, so the barkeep put me on water, or at least light drinks.
As you approach, he does slide his chair back a little bit, taking a moment to brace himself. Still wearing his full plate armor, still looking quite impressive with a decent length of beard, but a few more lines from the stresses of running the town.
As I kind of approach and pass the Siegfried, I just kind of do a few spells of prestidigitation just to get the worst stains off him. See if it can remove some of the smell.
Indeed, before you start doing that, it's a strange moment because Droop himself is more fragrant and cleaner, having taken to the job of a houseboy. Always at your side in his little waistcoat, his pantaloons, looking quite tidy, almost presentable, and keeping a wide berth from the grumbling creature beside him.
Bull grumble.
And you, stout friend, you do well as well? I have not seen you pass through town much.
I've been busy and I need a drink.
Oh yes, of course. I drink all round, Toblin. Now, something very important has fallen into my lap, and those above me, below me, and to the side are not as useful at the moment. They won't be able to get moving as quickly as we need to. There is a kingdom far to the east, called Raxus. It's a fairly well-developed place. We've been trying to make inroads on a good trade agreements and alliances. Not so much progress. However, recently they came under a civil war between the two houses. What this means is that we do nothing. However, while we can't get involved militarily, we can get involved for humanitarian purposes. The royal family, of course, is at great danger during this time. We would like you, I'll be honest, I would like you all to travel there and to rescue what you can of a royal bloodline. We have no idea of the news that's come through. The place itself is in utter turmoil from what we can gather. There's still cartloads of refugees coming towards us. Now, I'm fully aware that this is not something you want to undertake immediately, especially with your numbers depleted, so I was a bit forward and I had a word with a friend of mine called Rydoff. A powerful druid and basically protects most of the wilds of these parts. He said he has lined up help for you. And, well, hopefully that'll be enough. So what do you think of it?
I don't know. I mean, druids, they kind of have a tendency to be a little dirty.
Once I actually agree with the wizard, oh my god, I need another drink.
I probably need to get out of here. The barkeep's starting to give hints that I should be moving on.
For now, Toblin is tolerating your presence because of business. Hopefully you'll be able to take a paying job, cover some of that tab that's been building up. Your heroic reputation is only lasting you so long. However, we jump from this scene to just outside Phandalin itself. It's a lovely, bustling farming and mining town. Since Wave Echo Cave was reclaimed, it's been doing quite well, in fact. A whole new influx of workers. New buildings are still being put up now. There's quite a few hammers ringing off the wood. The farms are doing very well at the moment. We're currently in the autumn. Big, heavy harvest being pulled about. And outside the city limits are a kobold and a wolf, a pointy-eared woman, and approaching separately, on horseback, a horned woman. You have all, for various purposes, come to Phandalin. In the case of the pair, it was meeting the druid ride-off. There was a haze of smoke. There were fucking loads of squirrels. But you were urged that the green eastward is sick, and you should seek here for companions, for something worthwhile to do and noble. While the one upon horseback, this is where Wave Echo Cave is. This is a famous site of magical artifact and power. It's said up in that mine is a forge which can create magical items. It can imbue weapons with powerful abilities. But first, where's the town? Good to lay your ear in the road. Good to lay your ear in the ground. Hear what's going on. And we'll start with you three. You will all make quite the sight, and attract each other's gazes.
The kobold is just looking around, keeping an eye out for interesting herbs and things that may be of worth. Next to him, the wolf is obviously a little agitated. So many people around, but it's doing well. He greets the two people coming towards him. Hello, friends. How are you today? Where are you headed? Where everyone is a friend of a kobold, or at least the kobold hopes so.
The sight of a wild animal and a creature that most joke about as lower than a goblin is greeting you. It's a strange sight, but he's alone at least. No kobold fights it out when he's alone.
Ah, so you speak common then.
And Elvish. Hello.
Well, I much prefer Elvish. How are you doing today?
Most excellent. The weather is grand and the day is grand. I shall find so much more stuff to explore and meet new and interesting people.
You're a rather interesting little kobold there. Where are you headed to?
Wherever I go. But for the moment, I'm heading to the town. A strange forest spirit, at least I think it was a forest spirit, it was a bit hazy in there. I got some of the weed. It's very good stuff. We can try it later if you want. And he sent me in this direction, I think. Again, a bit vague. But I think I have headed to the right place. And maybe I shall find just a little bit of adventure. This is all I need, a little bit.
Was that the one with the squirrels?
Yes, there may be squirrels. I think maybe an owl.
Oh dear.
Again, hazy.
I believe we might be heading to the same place if it was the squirrel person.
Oh, grand. So good to meet you. let, let us head in. Hopefully the guards will not take too unkindly to me, but we shall see.
Well, I'm not sure about that, considering you are a little bit strange.
Really? I had not noticed.
At this
I don't
point,
know,
while
but-
you two talk, the horse rider has drawn up level with you, still aiming to pass, and she is a tiefling. Clad in armor, actually armed, and about as strange and attention-grabbing as the rest of you.
I call out, "Hello, friend. Are you heading to town as well?"
Yes.
Most excellent. Shall we travel? It is a glorious day.
She lifts her pipe to her lips and takes a puff, then turns and gives a rather uninterested look before going, whatever.
Oh, most excellent. Let us head off. What is your name?
She closes her eyes for a moment, exhales a bit of green smoke, and states simply, Castalia.
I look over
Oh.
at the kobold and say, I don't think she's very talkative. In Elvish.
Maybe not. Oh, by the way, my name is Zazu. What is yours, good lady?
I'd be Rain.
Oh, glorious. Let us go. This is only a short distance. Let us find an inn.
And so the three of you, quite strange in these parts. Mostly it's simply humans and dwarfs. A few halflings as well in the population. The guards do give quite an eye to the kobold upon his wolf. But they've been used to
I
seeing...
wave merrily.
Yeah, they're accepting of a friendliness, and they've seen quite a few strange things pass by, normally with the wizard. And so they allow you in, with a simple greeting of, "Welcome to Phendelin." As you step through, it's pretty obvious where the big hustle and bustle is. There's only one proper pub in town still. There were two long back, but the second has still not been rebuilt yet. And you can see the numerous horses tied outside. You can see that there's people moving in and out of the doors. And, yes. And Castalia, as you're alongside these, when you glimpse the inn, you can feel a small tightening deep in your chest. And there's some vague whispered word at the back of your head. You can't really decipher it, but when you look at the rest of the place, nothing catches your interest whatsoever.
This causes a narrowing of the eyes at the end,
Yeah, the sensation
with
is having
sidelong glances to my new traveling companions to inspect their weapons and armor.
I wander up to a guard and ask him, "Hello, sir. Can you direct me to Sildar Winterhall, I think his name was? I was sent here."
You mean Lord Sildar Hallwinter, right? You were
Oh, yes,
really sent for
that
him.
would be it.
Yeah, you were sent for him. Do you have a leash for that thing? It's making me fucking nervous.
No. He eats them. It
Is
best
that thing
if he
tame,
is
sir?
off the leash. Oh, most definitely tame. Yeah, he tells me he is always.
Castalia, roll me a perception check. Right. Sir, I would like to know if you abide by the laws of the city. You will not harm, you will not bring to harm any of the villagers. You will not steal, pillage, burn. Anything you bloody horrible lot do.
No, never. That is totally against form.
Very well, sir. He will be at the Stonehill Inn right now. Have a good day.
Oh, thank you, good sir. What are the directions there?
And you just watch him point out this large gauntleted arm behind you to where the building is across the street.
Oh, good. Thank you, sir. Good day.
Yeah.
May you have a good day.
Castalia, that's a perception check, please. As you peer over the equipment of your current traveling companions.
Eh,
That's a d20 plus your wisdom plus proficiency if you have a skill tagged.
I do not.
Okay.
It's slasher.
Yep.
In the tabletop channel.
It is.
18.
There we go. As you glance over them, you do see a couple of simple weapons. These are just store-bought. These are off the shelf. I mean, obviously not in the case of a kobold. His are a little bit more rustic. But there's nothing exceptional about them. Nothing really sifts at the back of your head or anything. It's just what everyone wears. For your part, Rain, are you doing anything in this scene?
I'm mostly just watching the kobold and wondering if he's going to get himself killed.
It is a fascinating thing to watch this small, fur-clad little dragon person clomp about with his big fuck-off wolf. So where will the three of you head now?
I suppose we head to the inn where we got sent to.
Alright, as you step into the inn, there's a bustle, but it's mostly at the back end. At the front is this large table that could sit about 9 or 10 people. At the head of it you can see this large, slightly too old for adventuring sort in his full plate armor, still looking powerful, but he doesn't go beyond the city limits anymore. Behind the bar is just this big fuck-off beard that does have a person attached to it. Strangely enough, a human. But that is the barkeep, Toadlin himself. And at the table you can see, gentlemen,
Kind of look around and look very intrigued at this
no,
rabble
describe
coming in from the
yourselves.
door. Oh,
I'm just looking at this kobold and going, great, another one just walked in. Suppose he will take this one as a pet too.
So,
well, as
Yeah.
a very well-dressed, noble-looking man, noble as in of high birth, not necessarily of high character. With my fancy hats and fancy clothes. Looks like someone of high wealth.
dressed like a proper man instead of a wizard.
Yes. Well, yeah, looking more like a merchant than a wizard.
Beside him, however, is something that is also not of noble character, on first assumption. It's a small goblin. The hair has been slicked and combed. It's wearing clothing that seems to fit it and not be stolen. It looks every bit the part of a gopher or a courier boy that you've seen within the cities. Picking his nose.
I slap his
Alright.
hand. He says, learn.
Hey, but it was an itchy one.
I guess lastly, the one in the on the end, a rather unkempt guy that is staring longingly at the kegs at the back of the bar.
Well, I go up to the beard and ask the barkeep, hello, sir. I am in search of Sildar. I was sent to meet him. Which one is he?
Alright, he's that big bloke there. Be
Oh,
respectful
excellent.
now.
Thank
He's
you,
leader of
sir.
the town, and I don't want any trouble from you or that. You understand me? If there's trouble caused, that becomes my new welcome mat.
No worries, sir. Can I get a glass of cider and a bowl of water for my friend here? I'll be just over there with Sildar.
4
if
copper.
that could be brought out, that'd be excellent. Thank you.
4 copper.
I hand over 4 copper.
As he slides the coins back, he does set down a tankard, but it's halfling-sized. Just there was no...
Oh,
And also
excellent. Thank you,
a
sir.
carved wooden bowl of some age, with a decent bit of clear water in it.
Well, thank you, sir. I shall be going. I may call on you later. Thank you.
As Rain
And
Hang on. As Rain and Zarzal did enter, Sildar's smile grew for a moment, then evened out as he scrutinized the two of them, but then realized, yes, sat back and looked at his free compatriots and said, "Yes, these two are the help for you."
I'm just wide-eyed.
Come, friends, sit. Meanwhile, Castalia, again, there's that strange little whisper at the back of your head.
Oh, I come over to take a seat, and then I say, I suppose you're the person that we were sent to come have a chat with.
Ah, yes, I assume so. You met a man of the woods, yes? A man of the green.
I met a squirrel man.
That's also one of his titles, yes. Yes, I am putting together... Well, I am hoping to put together a party of adventurers here to aid in a foreign land. It's a good, noble deed, a well-paid one. Why don't you all sit down and, excuse me, miss, were you also sent by a man of the woods?
No, I am here on my own journey and task.
Alright then. Well, you're free to join us if you wish. Everything here can be said and open. As he speaks, though, as he speaks, though, Castalia, his words sort of fall away. There's that itching at the back of your scalp again. There's something here.
Very well, it will serve my time for the time being.
I walk over to the table and put the bowl down on the floor for the wolf at the far end from Siegfried's. Seeing the wolf's nose is a bit delicate sometimes, and well, the cesspit over the other side isn't so nice. And greet everyone at this table. Hello, I am Zenzel. How are you all today? It's just a glorious day.
Why, yes, it most certainly is. You are quite a curious one.
Oh yes, I'm very curious. The world is so exciting.
Well, I must say, that's a good thing to be. My name is Cornelius Sent.
Well, hello there, Cornelius. I do hope we will be friends. Thank you. And your compatriots?
Why, yes. This here is Droop. He is my assistant.
Hi!
Hi, friend. This is good to meet you. I shake the little hand.
While his hand is about the same size as yours, the fingers are much longer as they wrap around. You're small like me, I like that.
I look at the dwarf and nod towards him.
I just immediately look away. I don't even say anything. I just roll my eyes, look away.
I smile and look at the lamp in the corner. That seems to be
At this point, has Droop stopped shaking his hand?
Droop has continued to shake his hand vigorously. He hasn't met someone that's also weird, monstrous, and small like him that's friendly. He's loving this.
I introduced Droop to my wolf as well. Droop, this is my companion, Beethoven.
Ooh, Dougie! And he scrambles
Yes.
underneath the table to get to the wolf.
Be careful of him. He bites.
Fortunately, while the beast is bound to you, goblins have a natural affinity with creatures like this. He knows not to poke it in the eye or to pull on the ears or anything. And now he's happily content to just sit by the dog as it laps at his bowl. And then Sildar starts going, yes, I must admit I'm a little surprised he'd pick a kobold. We don't see too many of you above ground.
No, I was sort of, how shall we say, run out of my household. I did not fit in too well there. But all is good. The world outside is so interesting. So much to explore and learn. It is a good time.
Well, my many decades of adventure have taught me that the outliers are always the ones ready for adventure. You fine lady, and yourself? As he gestures to Rain.
I am Rain, and it is a pleasure to meet you.
All right, well. And you yourself,
Who's that little dwarf over there that isn't talking about anything? And didn't give his name.
I immediately perk up at the sound of little.
You can't claim anything on the little front there. You're medium.
Yes. Just sizing up what just spoke. Looking down, wondering which one is the pet, the kobold or the wolf. And just still deep sighing, hoping Sealder is this can't be happening right now. This is crazy. I've taken jobs before, but ugh, I thought this was gonna be rescue the town.
Well, that is entirely it, but
this
my friend Rydoff is a very wise man, ancient beyond his years. He would have known. He would not have sent us anyone of lacking quality.
I do believe you said his name was also the Squirrel Man.
Druids tend to have a fondness for certain animals that they can shape into. Squirrels are an excellent recon network.
So your man turns into squirrels and recruits these things, gesturing to the kobold and the wolf.
It's not so unique. I've heard of entire gnome villages that rely on the security system laid out by just having a network of squirrels.
This gnome village, yeah.
Please do carry on. I do believe it'll be better for Malkern's sanity.
Oh, so the dwarf does have a name.
Just gonna continue drinking. I did not hear that, or at least I assume not to.
Yes, he does. My name, as said to your companion, is Cornelius Sent.
But yes.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Iris as well. I invited you to the table, but I did not introduce myself. I am Sildar Hallwinter, and you, young lady, as he gestures towards Castalia. Are you also a wanderer for coin and adventure?
In the short terms, yes. In the longer terms, I'm a bit more selective at what I seek.
Well, this will require many weeks of travel to begin with. And hopefully you'll be able to get through it before winter settles in and the walls close.
Over various lands.
Well, just for one, I'm afraid. It's not quite that grand an adventure.
Are there any legends to this land?
Oh, every land has its legends. I'll be honest, I cannot say much about Raxus. I've never been myself. It's been very small delegations that have moved between it. I have heard it is quite a boisterous place. It does have its own coastline. Surprising, really, since it's so far inland. Great forests, a large kingdom, and a very beautifully walled-off castle town.
I would have to remember it. So, Droop, write down that I need to pick up some books about Raxus for our journey ahead.
There is a moment where he begins to write, and slowly the P turns into a male genitalia, but then he returns the words. He manages to focus, where his hand shakes a little bit.
It sounds like there's promise in this Raxus. if for nothing but information.
Well,
Surely, you may count on me.
well, I must admit, when I sit back here and look at you all, I do see a potential party. Or do you see a group that can do this job? You wouldn't be adverse to a bit of hard work for... Let me see now. He's unfolding an old parchment. You can see that there's been several jobs scrawled on it and then wiped away. Yes. Currently the rate it will be 3,000 gold for the job done.
I nodded and take a sip of my cider.
I find those terms rather agreeable.
And all you must do is return with what survives of Araxis royal family.
That itself should be a reward for most of you. The survival of a noble family is a duty to us all.
Oh, and I should specify that is 3,000 gold each.
Well now.
Even more agreeable. But I have a rather inkling that they're not just going to wander off with us, because I think somebody's probably going to want to stop us now.
I ask what provisions and would we be given to, undertaking this? Also a cart or some form of travel?
Well, you'll be given 1,000 as advance money to take care of any supply issues you might have, transport problems. I really do have to urge, though, that you must go as quickly as possible. And all I'm authorized to tell you is this simple objective: to rescue the royal bloodline. Officially, as Lord's Alliance, we cannot intervene any further. We cannot get involved in their internal disputes.
Officially, you can't tell us anything further. Is there any points of interest we should be informed of? Possible problems with the locals?
It's currently a civil war, my friend. There are two houses of knights. There are the Azael knights, who are the instigators as far as we can tell, and the Cerule knights, who are seemingly just trying to defend the royal house.
So a succession war.
It appears to be, although a hasteful succession war. The king did pass 4 months prior. The queen then went missing. We have not heard. And of the surviving heirs, there were 2 daughters and assorted cousins, although we have not heard much of them.
So we're effectively looking for 2 ladies.
Potentially. The queen may still be alive for all we know. The king may in fact be alive and just false news.
Well, at least the daughters should be able to tell us more.
I don't know about that in a war of secession. But I'm sure we'll figure it out.
In
Well.
terms of travel, would there be any means from here in which to acquire travel, or would we have to go back to Neverwinter?
Well, Barfins has been able to bolster his business quite a bit. I'd say you'd be able to get a proper horse each, at least. Maybe a decent cart if you wish so. I don't think much... No. No, honestly, unless you want finery on your wagon, Cornelius, I couldn't see much point in returning to Neverwinter.
Well, I hope we can at least buy the wagon. I cannot see that a rental of a wagon for the time we're gonna be gone is practical.
Couldn't blame him for trying to gouge you. He's become quite mercenary with the influx of prosperity into the town. During this conversation, a dwarf has entered into the pub. And while it's a bit hard as he has to get up on a stool to do it, he tries to attract the attention of Malgern. It's Nundrew, the younger Rockseeker.
I immediately smile and gladly walk over to the other friend of mine. I don't need this. This is most excellent.
He makes a big show of clapping Mulgern on the back, buying another drink, and then quickly scoots the two of them over to a corner. Sildar's been talking with us a bit, and, he did mention you'd be going on a big job, right? Out east?
Yes. A job I'm somewhat familiar with. Mercenary work, same as I've been doing lately. It's
Yeah, that's great.
nothing too
Anyway,
common.
there's a bit of a problem with the mine. And
Another
I need you to be
problem?
stutty on this, okay? I need you to not say a word. Not to the tall ones. Not to the short one either. Fucking kobolds. Anyway,
A short one.
the issue is, Forge isn't quite working.
You broke the forge.
More like it was left idling too long. You know, it's been sitting there a while. Maybe some orcs pissed in it. I'm not entirely sure. But when we try to make something in it, it only lasts about 3 days. Now, we can't make much of a business off that. Might be good for a novelty, but we're in deep shit if this gets out. So, while you're there, just happen to be in a foreign area, maybe a bit of magic about, you wouldn't mind reading a book or two? You can do that, right?
Maps, books. What's next?
Just find out something about maybe a bit of magic. Something we can do to boost it a bit.
A
You know,
bit
if you're not
of-
too busy, of course.
I'll handle it.
And the dwarf looks over to see apparently that this
Excuse me?
tiefling has walked up.
And then I finally realize what I said that to as I size up what I'm looking at.
And what is he looking at, in fact?
Let's see. I think it's a dark red, black hair, gold eyes. Live form. Bit of muscle from what looks like lifting mostly. Do you need approximate heights?
I mean, you're taller than the two of them, for sure.
That's all that matters to me. It's taller than me.
You mention a forge. I'm a smith. I would be happy to look into it.
That's fascinating. It's a bit of a family thing, though. Just between us stunties. But, yeah, she's traveling with you, right?
She's not one that I'm familiar with. But I don't know. This squirrel man could have all manner of friends traveling with at this point.
Mate, I can tell you as a fact, never shit about druids, okay? They're fucking scary.
Look,
But, you...
Look,
okay.
I just no. I'm gonna shit about druids because I'm not sure what the pet is. The dragon thing or the wolf? Is the wolf the?
Tell you what, that's a brilliant thing. When you travel with it for a few months, risk life and limb, get a bit in danger, maybe he saves you from the brink, maybe you save him and the wolf, then you can find out. But for now, I need to know, can you fucking help me?
I mean, yes. I
Good,
can fucking
right.
help
Beardy's
you,
on
as
board.
you so put it.
Horny one, how about you? I need you to find fucking anything you can about magical forging, about processing, about any ancient lost techniques, about anything. Just raid a wizard's lab, grab anything that's sort of leather-bound and interesting.
Absolutely. I will keep a copy of it for myself, though.
Right, beautiful. Also, keep all of this to yourself as well. Right?
I'll make sure of it.
And as he's doing this, his fingers are sort of going back and forth a little bit. Pointing and gesturing a little bit. Just keep it all to yourself. All of this conversation, and rewards will come.
The wolf's ears have been just pointed in that direction for the last, well, since I've gone over there.
He's
His
not a
half
very discreet
glancing
dwarf
over
anyway.
that way.
I was about to say, how much you hear from Marcel over there? Quite obviously, very lovely.
I mean, you've got the ears for it. Give me a perception check. It is a bustling bar at the moment. There are quite a few rowdy types, but he didn't have a brightness to take Bridir or Malgern outside to talk about this.
I haven't.
Dee-ba-doo. If you hear of a whole thing, you hear all three people exchanging it. A few bits are smudged, but you get the general details.
I just kind of lean casually over to Rain because it looks like she was. What are they talking about?
Apparently, they want separation for a ford.
Oh,
I don't know why that's some sort of large state. But there you have it.
I think I know what it is. Oh,
Is that actually a roll, or is that just 20 plus 4?
That is 20 plus 4, actually. Yeah, you have to put 1d20 there.
Oh.
oh, whoops.
Say that again.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah. /r space 1d20.
Thank you. That would have been
1d20.
Yeah, I
nasty.
hadn't noticed that. It's been a while since we used the dice bot.
Good
catch.
I'm gonna laugh when it comes up 20 again.
Close
There
enough.
you go.
Close enough.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
Yeah, do you still pick up on it?
The wolf is just interested in what's going on over there. It doesn't really understand much.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like,
Lundro speaks
yeah,
funny.
that-
It's kind of interested in it.
yeah, yeah. I still had the same question to Rain.
Yeah.
But in my case, it was just more like since what Rain just said, I was just more like curious. Like she didn't mention the part where it was going bankrupt. She just mentioned it needed a book for the forge.
It'd be horribly rude to mention that.
Yeah, I'm just mentioning with the part I have understood. So yeah, so for me, they're just looking for a book, and for me, that's like, okay, well, fuck, I can look for a book. I'll be happy to look for a book.
But yeah, you find us anything useful, and there'll be rewards for it. There'll be cash, there'll be fabulous prizes, we might even have a nice night together.
At that point, I start laughing. Because I take that out of the wrong.
I will take the information and techniques as my prize.
Right, that's cheaper. Okay, I like it. Anyway, that's mainly what I'm here for, and Gundren says, you're still a fucking lightweight, Malgern. I'll have to see you later, right? Anyway, keep it shufty. Tell no one. Not her now. Not the rest of them. And, if it's any consolation, I'm going to bet a silver it's the wolf that's in charge.
I just nod in agreement.
And then he fucking shoots out of air about as fast as the dwarf can. There's a lot of stomping.
He needs boots.
His brother had boots.
I lean over and so bold. I say, I don't like you. In Elven.
I look to Malgern and speak in Dwarven. He needs to speak his own language.
I don't like this.
Now, how
The horned thing speaks my language.
Yes, Cornelius?
This is already a shit show.
just out of curiosity, when Castalia said that in Dwarfish, how loud was she?
It was lowering to just a little lower than tableside communication.
Okay, because I would have picked up on it because Dwarfish is one of my
Because
languages.
everybody
Yeah,
in
I
this
was gonna
party
say, I think
fucking
everybody
speaks
here
Dwarvish.
The kobold doesn't.
The wolf
Oh,
does.
But the wolf probably does. Yeah, like,
Well, Small boats makes it. It's alright.
You need to get more used to that push the talk button. You keep cutting yourself off.
Not push to talk.
Okay.
Might need to adjust the levels then.
Meanwhile, as the drinks are served, Sildar pushes with the back of his hand a nice jug of water over to Siegfried. And you've...
I look
Maybe.
I look sad at it.
Buck up. It's going to be a great adventure. You'll enjoy it. It'll be good to get some air around you. In great quantities. Fresh air.
Think
It's
of
gonna
all
try and kill me.
who's going to try to kill you?
Everything.
It's fine. Just think of all the treasure chests you're going to unlock.
There'll be mimics.
Well, they probably will. I'm not gonna lie.
It only
Statistically,
happened
they
that
can't
one
all be
time,
mimics.
didn't it?
Yeah, and then there was the ghouls. Still have nightmares about that lot.
Yes, but you cleaned them out. A lot of you. Well, most of you. Sallied
Well, it's
forth and you took
alright.
them
If you
down.
die, I can always bring you back.
That's not the point.
Just enjoy your water for a moment. So yes, that is the task laid out before you. That is all I can officially do. Oh, there is one more thing actually. He reaches inside his pouches and brings out a kind of old, battered, and slightly tarnished Lord's Alliance badge. This will hopefully help you get access to the palace, although I'd say keep it held discreetly. With the right people, it might be useful.
I take out my hand to take the badge.
The wolf grabs it out of his hand and just puts it on the floor and guards it.
I will have a contested roll for this. Acrobatics from both.
Oh dear. Well, probably gotta win that one.
Fuck.
And once they're done with that, I'll do a sleight of hand to grab it.
Fuck you.
Now, I will say, however, a 20 is not an absolute success on a skill check. Neither is a 1 a failure. If he can outdo the number, which he did not do,
Apparently, all the time, but catching something from Droop has heightened my senses.
it's actually funny because I rolled for Droop as well to support you, and in a beautiful slow motion moment, while the wolf is still miles away, Cornelius's and Droop's hands land on the badge at the same time, as they both clawed back.
Yeah.
While this whole pile of mess is going over in the corner, I ask, is there any chance we might get a good map? My current one is a little lacking. A good map would be very useful.
Unfortunately, we actually have nothing all that accurate or recent, I'm afraid. The best I could do is an... Well, hang on one moment. As he reaches through his pack. Where did I put this? Well, I mean, technically you're all looking at it already, but...
Would it be the stream image?
It's a very familiar image, in fact.
Yes, yes it is.
It's a minimal detail artist rendition of the lay of the land. It's very up to interpretation. Few things are missing, but there's no marked roads either. I'm afraid that's the best we can do. There's been no call really to have any map work sent from Raxus into the territories.
I have to say, whoever did this map probably ought to be hanged.
Somehow he managed to make it very three-dimensional. It's quite a unique thing to look at. A horror, yet fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's no good for planning a journey, but it is all we have at the moment. But I'm sure you'll be able to find a cartographer or two fleeing, if you're lucky.
Yes. Has there been many fleeing in this area? Maybe we could ask them.
Only... Yes, I believe I heard word there was 1 or 2 caravan loads that actually reached Neverwinter, but there weren't many left. They did say some are following them, but most are just sort of hunkering down outside the walls in desperation. When you've got when you've got nothing but the clothes on your back, you can't really forge a journey across kingdoms. And as you can see, there is the border wall as well. I'm sure one of the night companies held that the quickest they could.
So we might have some fun trying to get in. That's what you're saying.
I honestly have no idea how it will go. They may be friendly for all we know.
I rather doubt it.
Yeah, well, common sense does say that trying to take the royal bloodline out during a succession war will be a bit of a problem.
So we're going to have to get in through the walls, and then we're going to have to find a way to get them out of the wall.
Well, what I remember of your exploits, the tales you've told me, as he looks across at Malgern and Siegfried, the hole will still be there whenever you get back.
Yes, that is an idea. Do the dwarves have blasting powder at the mines?
Unfortunately, we've not been able to get any, well, I have no influence in the mines, I'm afraid. We just work security there.
Ah, oh well.
Well, I'll finish off this drink, and then I'll have to leave you to your own devices.
Very well.
It's been a great pleasure meeting you all. As he slowly looks across at Siegfried again in his horrible state, thinking about how he was pondering reinstating the lawman. And now look at him. Having heard the stories about Toblin, about how he stabbed all the furniture in his bedroom. Yes, well. Have a good day, you all. As he downs the tankard in one and walks out, clanking quietly.
My word. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I believe the game is afoot, and we need to secure ourselves a transportation.
Now let's see what horses we can acquire.
I gotta go and talk to Talbot about a bath and a
Yes.
shave.
Yes.
Haircut probably as well. Gotta cut the nails.
A full-on preening.
Go
Well.
and get the good clothes.
Castali, as the group splinters a little bit, you can feel that tightness in your chest again. It seems to be burning right inside the left side. Feel like whispering again, and you can feel this slight pull. It's trying to get your eyes to follow the dwarf.
Which dwarf?
Well, the one that's currently there, Malgern. And very quietly, you can hear finally a distinct voice. Fascinating.
Well, I'm gonna go and take a look at the horses and perhaps a cart.
Alright, Cornelius and Rain are heading out to Barfins.
I believe so.
Anyone else with them?
I shall follow along. It shall be interesting.
Sig-
What the
I
tall
remove
people
all
ride.
my makeup that I've been wearing to make me look bad.
I'm gonna go with Cornelius to make sure the goblin doesn't do anything to the cart.
You've been making yourself look worse, have you?
Yeah, I got a disguise kit and everything with the change of subspec.
Nice.
He's just been making himself look like shit.
Got to get into character.
Wow.
And
The
as
dedication.
the dwarf follows the rest of them, Cassali, you can feel there's It's like someone pulling at the very tips of your hair to try and tug your head over to where he's going. It's not making you move, but you can just feel it.
I light my pipe and take a small smoke first.
And as you do
In
so,
consideration of thinking.
there's a moment where all your senses blank out for a second. You can still smell the alcohol. In fact, it's even more powerful than it was before, just standing in the bar. You feel like all your weight is being taken up, like you're being suspended. You can feel binding lever. You get this sense of violence, of anger, of regret. And as you take a deep breath of your pipe, you can feel this overwhelming sense of failure. And then you just snap back. Nothing's changed. Even the dwarf hasn't even made one extra footstep. But you now recognize on his belt is a very special kind of weapon. It is a one-handed hammer, but it's finely engraved, very detailed, very old. And then he's out the door.
With closed eyes, I sit and think and plan.
So you're just going to stay at the bar, then?
For the time being, yes.
Okay, then. Siegfried, are you actually going to preen, or are you just doing it to yourself?
I'm going to get myself looking good, or at least reasonable.
Alright. There's not any... Well, there is a barber surgeon, come to think of it, in the town. Recently moved in to help with all the injuries caused by the mining. Mainly in the back and forth of the travel. So you've got to watch him as you walk across town, lopping off a few limbs. Not gifted with curative magic. You just sit down. Oh, Master Siegfried, yes. I recognize you around town. I've had to throw you out of my back room once or twice.
Yes, it's about time I got myself looking good. So
Yes, it is.
saving the
Yes,
kneecap,
it's been quite a while since you looked good. Yes. So, do you have enough for the full service? I assume you haven't drunk all of your purse yet.
no, I haven't.
Very
Thank
well,
you.
I shall begin. If you'd just like to sit down and let me open the windows.
Sure. Go on, my good man.
And he begins. Despite his tone, he is very effective with the scissors, including having a very lovely set of enamel handle tools, specifically for trimming mustaches. So, are you going anywhere nice on your holidays this year?
Oh, I believe we're going for a bit of a trip to a different kingdom for a bit.
Marvelous. It'll be so good to get you out of town.
Yes, I know. I shall be missed, I'm sure.
Yes, we simply won't know what to do with a man who crashes from a pigsty waving his dagger around.
Yes, you gotta
I'm
watch
not
out for that
referring to
chair in
the-
the left room, though.
Yes, I'm not
I'm quite
referring to
sure
a
it's a
weapon.
mimic.
It's just a one-hander you have there, isn't it? Yes, that's lovely. Anyway, back at Barfin's. The storefront is all new wood now. Beautifully
Meanwhile, at
varnished.
Barnes-
Quite lovely. Barfin's himself actually isn't behind the counter on the inside. It's his son, who looks, for all his missing decades, as old and as bent over as his old man was. Oh, wonderful! Customers, yes?
Yes, hello, Barfans.
How can I help you?
It should be mentioned I can't tell the difference between one person and another.
How can I help you today?
We are looking for means of transportation. Some horses and a cart. Was there perhaps a way to purchase such creatures and vehicles?
Oh, you just want a cart, do you? Well, I mean, we do have a few more. There's a closed-in wagon. You could seat about 4 in there. It's It's very fancy, very, very expensive. Let's see. There's also the simple flatbed. There is a flatbed with ribbing, so that you could put a nice little cover over it, which might be a good idea in these rainy seasons. How much are you looking to spend?
How much are you asking?
Slowly puts his elbow onto the counter. Takes a moment where he straightens his back and then hunches back down immediately as he gives up.
The wolf jumps up on the counter and just looks him in the eye.
Oh, good God! He just recoils away. He's reaching for a broom.
And then Droop drops over into the other side and looks.
Well, he's used to Droop. Could you please get your animal down off my counter before I have to bludgeon it?
Oh, terribly sorry. Droop, get down.
No, not a little short boy with a skin condition. No, I mean
Okay,
that
Droop,
big
just
bloody
jump up again.
four-legger.
I pet the wolf and say, just leave him be. He is obviously giving us a good deal. This is no, you need to attack him.
Yes, you've given me a good deal more than I needed. I won't get those beats back. Yes, so I'm... Spits on his hand, combs it through his hair. Most of it's just ruined by going onto his bald patch instead. Just settles back. I could give you a card for about... Are you looking to rent or buy? It's very important, this difference, this.
Yes. Well, I do believe we're going to be away for a while, so I do believe a purchase is in order.
Right. And which wagon are you interested in?
Well, how much for the flatbed?
The flatbed itself, that would be... as he eyes the clothing of you, and especially the fucking kobold. 120 gold. Yeah, I see. Quite reasonable at Boffin's Precisions.
And how much for the horses to drag the cart?
Oh, well, now you see, they're a different kettle of fish altogether, you see. I'd be looking in the way of... Well, you're looking for something that pulls long distance, yes. 170 apiece. I could only do you 3 of them, though. I can't do too many. We don't have a full stable yet.
Show me the horses and we shall see.
Alright, alright. First, those 2 can leave the shop. As he gestures at the kobold and the big bloody wolf.
Good sir, how can you? We must inspect the merchandise.
I'm quite happy that
Thank
you
you.
inspect the merchandise. I'm just not turning my back on you.
It's fine. Your front will be perfectly fine for my wolf to.
The price has
inspect.
risen to 180.
Yes. We shall see.
185.
Most excellent. This place does look flammable. Thank you. I shall leave now.
I'm just
Frightful
shaking
bloody
my head.
creatures. Should never have come from the caves. So yes, Master Cornelius, yes. We can do proper business. And he's...
I'm outside inspecting the carts,
Yep.
making note of all the woodwork and worms inside.
With the kobold and wolf gone, he is happy to step out from behind the counter and walk out of his store, although he does keep Droop and Cornelius between himself and the kobold and the wolf. As he leads round to the livery, where there's a couple of steeds. Most of them are big farm animals, big pulling horses, draft ones. But there's a couple that look like they could actually, they've been ridden before. They're proper mounts. They've got the good evenness of body instead of just big, massive legs. So you see, those are the 3 I could sell you. They're quite young, quite virile, quite potent. Could definitely get a cart pulled around.
Can I inspect the horses to make sure that they are proper and not one of them is accidentally lame or something?
Oh, yes, of course. Chauncey! And out comes this simple, bright-eyed stable boy, who opens up the stock on each of them, leads them around in a quick circle. All the legs are working. Their eyes seem to be functioning. If either
Very
one of
well,
you
then.
want to roll me a nature check.
Yeah. I might as well. A +4 on it. Oops.
For hilarity's sake, I have to do this.
You know, oh, you are there, come to think of it.
Deep.
Just been quiet.
Yeah, I was acquiring food for Rain.
How does the ranger have a 0 in nature?
Oh no,
Based on intellect.
it's gonna get better. Yes, that's exactly what I hoped for.
Well, Mulgurn, you've seen horses before. You're pretty sure that that's a horse? Best
Yeah,
bet?
stories.
You're pretty certain that's the right amount of legs they've got? And honestly, it doesn't have wings, so it's probably a horse.
Excellent. That worked.
The rest
out
of
as
you,
planned.
yeah, they look in fine health. They look about the same condition as the one that Castalia herself rode in on.
Very well, then I do believe that we should acquire at least 2 for track. How many would you actually need to track the flatbed?
It's a cart, so 2 horses would do.
Okay, there's some carts only
One
need
would
one,
be able
so
to
it's
pull
just-
it so long as, 1 or 2 of you walked. Specifically, the dwarf. And probably the tiefling. I imagine she's the second heaviest.
Well, she has her own horse, so.
Yeah. But she's got the equipment, I mean. Yeah, certainly. That's fantastic. I'll take every one of those coins. I suppose you want to inspect the cart as well. Oh, do you want the one with the boning? Or just the open top?
The awning would be a good idea, I believe. We are going
Yes.
on quite a trip.
Yes. Oh well, you'll need it. You'll need a top for that. I know where you can get one at a very reasonable cost.
How very convenient.
So the one with the ribbing, that'll be a nice even 130. And the top, well, we're friends now, so just about 10 silver, or in layman's terms, a gold. Unless you want
was
one
gonna
that's
say.
unless you want one that's waterproof, that might cost you a little bit more.
Well, would not be a much point if it's not waterproof now, is it?
Well, you never know. It could turn in a sunny place. I don't know where you're going, after all. Oh, yeah. Well, that'll be 2 gold, then.
Sounds fair enough.
Or 20 silver.
200 copper. And I only accept copper.
Well, can you take change?
Oh, that's very rich for my blood. I'll happily take it if you don't mind not getting much back. So, any further business?
Unless my compatriots have other businesses.
You're all set, of course, for supplies, food, oil, for lanterns, torches. Have you got a 10-foot pole?
What a ridiculous thing. Why would anyone need a 10-foot pole?
Why, indeed.
Why not?
Just
And I
straight down.
just look at Rain. Well, why would we?
Well, I don't know. Have you
check,
tried to
mate.
get anything out of a tree without a 10-foot pole?
Droop just raises his hand.
See?
Not you. Not you. I'm talking to the human.
Yes,
I-
exactly.
I'm how he gets things out of trees.
Oh dear. And I just pat Droop on the head.
Can I ask for the record? So the boots of springing, how high can I jump? Out of curiosity, before I decide my next actions here.
Let's take a look here.
I'm trying to remember how those work.
Yep.
I know the striding makes me fast as a human.
Yeah, it makes you normal speed.
That's 30. Yeah, okay, so it is.
Whenever you jump,
30.
you can jump 3 times the normal distance. Is all it says.
Okay.
Distance or height?
You could probably get about 10 foot off the ground and vertically.
Not quite as high as I hoped. I scrapping the plan.
Let's see, what's your strength score?
20. I have a.
Yeah, you could probably do about 15 feet then, straight up.
I still think I'm backing out on the plan.
15 fucking feet is pretty high, man.
Yeah.
That's 3
Alright.
times your height.
It is.
You're basically a flea.
Can I use primal awareness to communicate with the horses and just get an idea of how they are?
Yeah, sure. They are quite peaceful. They're very content. These are well-trained animals. They don't give off any fear or anything. They don't really notice you.
So no problems with them. Excellent.
I mean, they're wary of a wolf, but they've been trained to be calm.
I communicate to them that the wolf is a fine thing.
You get a sense that they believe you. Because they're horses, they're fucking stupid. You want a proper mount? You want a giant goat? Anyway. So, let's go. So, as you lot are wrapping that up, Siegfried, there's just the flutterings of small little shears against your mustache to get it properly trim and even.
Oh yeah, how much did I wind up having to pay?
Thought you were keeping track of that. It was 170 per horse.
Gold per horse?
Yep. They're expensive animals, it's weird.
And the cart was 140?
132.
132.
Yeah, because that's including the tarp. He did offer
So
you
then I
cup
would like
holders
to-
as well, but he wasn't going to give them for free. If you
And
pay
then I
the
said-
deluxe, if you pay the deluxe service, I can throw in a bard. Plays anything you request.
No, thank you. That'll be fine.
He only knows 5 tracks though.
I don't think you
Those-
want to feed him.
How's that anything I request? If it's
I
only
mean,
5
we could
tracks.
feed him to the wolf.
Well, that'd be a lovely idea.
You could buy 2, get it in stereo.
This is becoming surprisingly self-aware.
I was wondering if you were going to pick up on fucking alluding to a radio.
Yeah.
So yeah, before any payment, I'd like to poke at the Brigadier, Malcolm, and say, "Well, are you intending to walk or going into the cart?"
I can walk.
You can now that you
I
got the
don't want
boots.
to. I'd prefer to keep my distance from company.
Fair enough. Here you go, 472 for me and the goblin, unless anyone else wish to use the cart.
Wow.
Oi.
Well,
The theme for this campaign will be I Walk a Lonely Road.
I ride a lonely road apparently, only accompanied by a goblin.
And I have walked 100 miles, and I will walk 100 more.
100 more.
Well, at this point, I believe then if he's going to be stingy like that, then I shall be purchasing a horse.
Oh, well, he's picked the prime ones. You can have this big-ass Clydesdale, though. Lovely fellow. He's called Rufian.
I kind of look over at the dwarf, and I'm kind of sizing him up, going, I don't think he'd be able to hop on that sucker. So I think I'll take him.
Yeah, this thing is huge. You might actually need a step to get onto it yourself. It is a huge, powerful Clydesdale. For stat purposes, it's a warhorse.
So, in other words, he'd be absolutely perfect for this.
Mhm.
You could also just chip in for purchasing this card.
Well, you didn't ask me. You just stated.
That was kind of the intention. That's why I was asking Malgern if he was intending to walk.
I thought we were using part of the advance payment to pay for it. We were given 1,000 gold
I
for
forgot about
preparations.
that. I forgot about that. Yes,
You forgot money. What type of merchant nobleman are you?
He's the
I've been
son of a
wondering
merchant.
that this whole time.
He's the
sir.
son of a merchant nobleman. That means he just lives off inheritance.
Oh, that explains a
No.
lot.
Dear.
well, in that case, how much was for the covered card? No, no, mind, just the cheap one.
132.
Yeah, it was 472 in all.
Mhm.
So that's half of the expenses.
Whereas how many days travel does it look by the map, as it were, that we'll need to...
Well, Solar
Um,
told you it would
do
take a
for
couple of
supplies.
weeks, potentially. It's not a trip he's made himself, so I wasn't able to give you a firm date on it. And of course, the pace does depend on, well, the travel time does depend on your pace.
So, yeah, but if we're buying this card, we have 528 gold left.
That might end up being the smarter decision because if it takes longer to go, then we're going to spend more on food.
I know somewhere you can get food for a reasonable cost. And in bulk quantity.
Would we happen to be 10 feet away from it?
You're a very clever man.
I measured it out, it's 15.
Oh, he uses different distances. It's fine. For us humans, it's a mere 10 feet. As he leans back a bit and inspects Cornelius's ears to see, yes, human, yes. Never once having paid attention to what he was, really. Well, I must say, your elven boy isn't getting very tall. I thought they were meant to spring up.
Elven boy?
Yes, your servant boy with the long ears.
Oh, yes, yes.
You really must get him treated. You're looking like a little orc, you know.
I'm just looking horribly confused now.
I have to wonder if he actually recognised me as a goblin. A kobold then.
Roll intelligence. No.
Maybe he thought I was a small dragonborn.
that fucking kobold. He's out there somewhere.
Does he need glasses?
So, we'll jump back. Castalia, has your situation changed at all?
I finally left the bar to go meet with the others. Might as well see how that's going along.
Alright. And Siegfried, you yourself have been finished preening. Your
Yep.
mustache
Now
has
I'm
been
gonna go and
trimmed,
get
your beard has been kept even.
That's all looking good. Time to go and have the bath and some clean clothes.
Well, as much as I enjoy your coin, of which that'll be 5 silver, I don't think I should be assisting you in the bath. There's other places for that. Might I suggest the Fest Hall in Neverwinter. Good day!
See you.
Lovely boy. I don't know why he doesn't stop round more often. And we're back to Barfins. Well, do you all have your paid PHBs? He basically has pretty much everything on that list now. Let me see here. Yeah, bring up a player's handbook.
What page is that on?
I'm about to get to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it is page
Is he on?
150. He's got pretty much everything there, including an actual spyglass, but that's 1,000 gold, so you've blown your load in that.
Well,
Yes.
maybe this time our certain person who can summon forth a owl might be able to remember to summon it.
I can't do that anymore.
Well,
He has 5 potions of healing on the shelf as well. Everything else he has generally in bulk. No holy water, however, because of his shrine. The local shrine has actually rebuilt itself, and that's taken over that business. And he does not sell focuses. But for the purposes of the adventure, we'll let you work out the expenses after the session. So for now, you have wrapped up your basics, your basic supplies. You have a cart, you have horses. You have a quest before you. And you almost know each other's names.
I take it the dwarf over there is Maggot. Did I say it right?
Do I toss it? Do I toss it? Do we kick this off with a? I don't even hear it. I pretend I don't even react. I just.
yes, I can see how if you're not used to the Dwarven tongue, it is pronounced Malgorn.
I just look at Cornelius and I switch over to Dwarvish and I go, that was a joke.
Ah. A very rude joke, I must say.
He's a very rude dwarf.
Well, it's not nice to be rude to such short people.
Now I'm staring daggers at Cornelius.
I say that is a rather fair point. I do retract my statement.
So what
Anyway.
new?
If no one else, unless anyone has other supplies or things they want to do before we leave, I suggest you do it now. Otherwise, help me put this tarp on. It's quite high.
I grab the tarp and jump up with my boots.
You can all hear the $6 million man sound effect. Give me an acrobatics or straight dex if you don't have it.
Okay, yeah, let me. Yeah, I think I'm actually proficient in acrobatics. Come to think of it, I am. Holy crap!
Can I explore the town just a little bit to possibly find a shop to refill my herb supply bag? After all, I do not have much left in there after the long journey.
Alright, give me an investigation. And as for Malgurn, he managed to sail over. He doesn't put it on fully correctly, because you gotta get the edges in at least. But he brings the tarp right over and lands solidly on both feet.
I almost have a heart attack because he's a flying dwarf.
Just wait till I get to my Slayer phase of this character. That will be amazing.
So it's our soul that's... Yeah, there we go.
I asked Cornelius if that's normal for him.
Well, it's a recent development. I mean, it wasn't until we found the boots on a dead dwarf.
Zarsul,
I
it's...
stare daggers at him again for mentioning the dead dwarf.
It was actually a quite intriguing pair of boots, I must say. Very old dwarfish.
Well, I can tell. It is quite intriguing.
Hmm. Very solid craftsmanship.
I don't think the dwarf liked your comment very much.
Ah, he doesn't like anything.
Oh, fair point.
I have a feeling I haven't found the right shop.
Surprisingly, not a lot of people are waiting around to listen to a kobold ask about trying to be subtle. Do you know somewhere I can get more herbs? Where can I get... Eventually you get desperate enough that you're just calling, I need to get some special plants, but You realize you're doing it to a town guard who just sort of ushers you away. Don't push your bloody luck, mate.
Okay, then I walk into the first shop I find.
It's
Why not?
Barfin's.
Let's find out what's in here.
You're just back at Barfin.
Yeah, you're just back at Barfin's. Get
Hello,
out, you bloody
sir.
little creeper! Castalia, while that niggling feeling surfaces now and again when you're in the presence of a dwarf, it's not at the boots. They're expertly crafted, they're definitely magical after that display. But none of it's really holding any interest for that feeling within you. So, what do... I mean, Siegfried was able to get a bath by himself in his room. Courtesy by Toblin.
Are you sure it was alone?
I mean, the sponge came from unknown sources.
Most of the furniture in there was poked slightly just to make sure it wasn't a mimic.
Yeah, everything in that room has a nick in it from where he stabbed it with his short sword. Just enough to get some purchase.
I walk up to Siegfried and ask, "Hello, Siegfried, was it? Yes. Do you know where I might buy some herb in this town? You look like the sort of fellow who would know."
I can only imagine that Botch leans fucking back to look down the hall.
The hallucinations are back.
Technically, I probably would know by now if there was anybody in town that actually did that type of thing.
Yeah, people have looked at you down and out, and some have offered, but they've just been travelers passing through. The actual town itself is pretty honest, and if there's any illicit substances, it's usually passed up at the mine, between the miners, where it's a little bit quieter, not as many guards about.
Sorry, little friend. The guard's a bit tight on such things. You have to try looking while we're on the road.
Oh well, maybe we'll meet a friendly druid on the way. They always have the best stuff anyway.
So,
I go and pay off my tab with Toblin.
that'll be, let's see, after all your 6 months. All concerned, you're looking at about 40 gold.
I hand over the 40 gold.
Now, look, it was perfectly fine putting you up for the night. I'm fine with that. Just stop causing a fucking ruckus. And stop traipsing mud in as well. Alright, have a good trip.
Very well. Anyone's business done?
By this point, it's about... Yeah, it's getting near sunset. Probably around 7 o'clock or so. Actually, no, it's probably about 8.
You suggest... So, you want us to get started now, or wait until morning?
I'd rather suggest we wait until the morning.
I mean, I will say most of the party now has dark vision of a sort. Just putting
True,
that out
but
there.
other things are out in the dark that also have dark vision.
Oh, many things. Some don't even need to see you.
Wait.
The night is dark and full of terrors.
Well, decide amongst yourselves.
Another night at the bar, I can handle that.
Probably the first time in a long while that Malgern has spent 2 consecutive days in the town.
Yes.
Anyone else?
You
I would like to
decided.
If we're going to spend the night in the tavern, can I explore the town a little bit? just to see what is around.
What you see is a lot of very wary guards, as this kobold and his wolf are creeping around after hours. They don't approach, but they do observe. Every time you go down a corner, they clank along to keep watch on you, until someone else on patrol is able to keep an eye on you. But what you do see is just, it's a very nice, pleasant farming village. There's
I'm
minor...
glad to have kept the guards entertained for the night.
Yeah, there's a lot of tenseness going on there. They haven't felt that for a while. Not since the kegs ran dry about 2 months ago. Anyone else? I assume you're all staying in town then.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So how are you entertaining yourselves? Just say what you want and I'll see if it's possible.
I'll just be rather simple, and I want to stay in the tavern and get a drink and have a nice rest.
Alright, just sit on down. Sit on down.
Yeah,
Toblin does
okay.
take a small interest. Just gonna...
I'm also in the tavern, sitting as far away from the elf as possible.
Excuse
Let's
me,
make
I'm not an elf.
I was about to ask about that, young lady. You've a bit blunder ears there.
My mother was an elf and my father was a human.
Ah, surprised you could put up with that. Sorry. It's just we've got this elf down in the orchard. He's a bit dramatic. Nice bloke, but how would you describe him, Mulgurn? What was it again? Ponce?
What? Trying to think of a word here.
You remember Idamoth in the orchard?
I believe it was the word that I told you I'd learned from a long dead language. Vatness.
Ah, yes.
Cotton elf.
Sorry, here I go, insulting your heritage and all.
I'm quite used to it by now.
Yeah, it's just fascinating to me. Whole half-breed thing. I mean, I met
I
once
don't
this...
think that'd be. I don't think that'd be the correct term.
Well, I'm not just talking about yourself. I mean, I met a half-orc before. She was a nice lady. Big, though. Bit terrifying, really. Reminds me of a wife, actually.
I wouldn't let her catch you saying that.
Oh, well, you see... And he opens up his mouth for a bit. You see, he's straight to whack. See how I'm not there? That's the last time she caught me saying that. Lovely woman, though.
That's about all
Seems
she's
that-
caught. Then I take a drink.
And as usual, he's giving you the bearded smile.
My favorite.
There's a...
I wander into the bar and wave the guards good night, as it were.
There's this very
Thank you for the
awkward
escort.
single-handed wave, the fingers moving slowly. Eh, what the fuck was that I just saw?
Come in. Tobin, may I have a meal for myself? And if there's any leftover soup bones or anything, my wolf would be very appreciative of just a small snack, as it were.
I am happy enough to keep that thing fed and away from the children.
Oh no, he loves children. It's just the right size to play with.
I'm glad you said the rest of the word for that.
Is that why he follows you about?
I'm never too sure. It's an interesting thing.
So what even are you?
I am Zazul Gittin, and I am a kobold. I travel the world. It is so interesting and exciting out here. Rather than my small hole I started off at, but never mind. Just can you tell me of the area? What is the history of this place? It's so interesting.
Well, this is Fandolin. This was long established mining town up in the mountains. We got the Wave Echo Cave somewhere. I don't actually know where. Never been outside the city limits myself, but it was this beautiful dwarven forge, and just all kinds of wizard folks and all would go back. Then the orcs fucking stole that, so then we became just sort of a ghost town for a bit, about a century or two. They used to say, mainly we're just a stopover before people get to Neverwinter. On the east there, you've got the Tribal Trail that used to lead to places, used to lead to Coneyberry. Lovely place it used to be, right before the fucking undead took it over. Then,
It's so interesting.
there was
I
all,
look very annoyed at the mention of undead.
and there was the old well, that used to be this big wizard's tower and estate, but apparently now it's just this one pole of fallen stone.
Oh,
And of course the west, you've got the whole Sword Coast. Lots of trade, lots of money, none of it coming here because we're a mining town, but yeah.
how about you? What have you done with? Have you been a bartender your whole life,
For-
as it were, or
Yep.
what did you do before?
No, always a bartender. 4 generations of family. We just remember our motto,
Oh.
all hail to the ale, cheers for the
Oh,
beers,
excellent.
and welcome to wine for the ladies.
Such great motto.
Yep.
Um,
My father, my grandfather, my great-great-grandmother, my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, they are all publicans.
you do a most excellent job, and do your family proud. It's
I do.
good.
I do, that'll be 2 copper.
2 copper and another 4, I believe, for another cider. Thank you.
Ah, yes, and when he slides out to you, like, you didn't give him an order, you just said a meal, and he was thinking about giving you just the leftovers, but in slides this big, thick-crusted pie. And
Well,
insi-
thank you, sir.
inside is just
Is it-
loaded up with various cockerel heads, bits of meat and bird. Most of it cooked.
Oh, thank you, sir. Most excellent.
Well, you're actually
I-
welcome, and that surprises the hell out of me.
I take my meal over to a table and dine in heartily. It's a good, solid meal, more than I can probably handle. The wolf may get some of it, yes.
Oh, that reminds me. So, you fancy a drink then, miss?
Oh, please, I rather do. Nothing too strong.
Oh, no, not at all. We've got this fancier one. He brings out the bottle of wine, which has Elven on the label, but misspelt. It's meant to say Neverfall, but it says Neferfam.
I get a rather peculiar look. And I ask if you've got any meat instead.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, you could have a bearded smile. That's always the most popular. It's a bit potent. There's the, oh yeah, there's the core of Fandolin. That's a nice homebrew cider.
Let's give the cider a go.
Excellent, excellent. Takes a few of your copper. Just free. And what about the rest of you? Your activities in town?
Well, I have a quick meal to go up to my room and get all my gear in order and write up a report for the last 6 months of what's been going on to town to give to Sordar in the morning.
Just imagine a few of pages are a bit slurred. Castalia, how about yourself?
An order of meat.
Alright, one bearded smile for the unusual lady. Just goes wandering now. Never seen a type like yours before. Can I ask? Is it rude to say what you are?
Not really. It just carries a bit of connotation with it.
Alright,
I'm a
what are
tiefling.
you?
I am a tiefling.
Right, and that is... I'm sorry, I've never seen one of you before. I've seen pictures, but not in flattering terms.
They're likely quite accurate.
Although I did see this one book once, but the missus won't let me read that one. Oh, what were it called? Infernal Heat it were. Ooh. They shouldn't let me read those. Gets the blood up. Anyway, sorry about that. So, a tiefling, right. And you're, No, never mind, never mind. So, a drink for you, lovely miss. And anything else I can help you with?
No, just the meat and some water will do.
Excellent, excellent. And he slides out, well, it's basically an entire chicken. Inside of which is stuffed a pheasant. It was a tight squeeze. That'll be
Inside of which is stuffed at no.
Inside of which will be, or the price of which will be 5 copper. So trim that out.
I handed it over before reaching into a pouch and pulling out some spices to put onto the bird.
Ah, yeah, you reach inside the magical spice pouch, and whatever you're thinking of forms just a little dash into between your fingers. Quite a handy little thing to have, and I'm fucking jealous because I haven't got it yet. But you're sitting there, and there's some of your compatriots at least. To your left is the half-elf. To the right, in the dark, lonely corner, the dwarf. And munching noisily at the table is the kobold, who has slightly worse table manners than the wolf.
I will have you know my table manners are impeccable.
The wolf's is still better.
It says a lot for the wolf.
Very tidy. Wow, talkative lot. Shall I just skip you forward to the morning?
I guess so.
Well, I think quite probable.
Although, Malgurin, do you also have Talon on you?
Do I have what?
The +1
Oh.
longsword.
No, that's up in my room.
Okay.
I just have the tosser on my belt. I don't need to carry the longsword to a bar. When has anything bad ever happened in a bar?
Every
Quite
time you
often.
walk in. Alright. As you all go privately up to your rooms,
Well,
Droop and Cornelius, of course, sharing. Toblin watching the wolf go up the stairs, questioning some of the choices he makes and agrees on. Morning arrives, though, without incident. Although throughout the night, Castelia, you did get that sense again. That drifting of senses that weren't your own. It was still the same ones you could detect before. Still that hammer. But it didn't leave you fitful or exhausted like some of the previous visions have. And yes, it is now 8 AM. The townsfolk have already been at work for a couple of hours, but that's a farming village for you, really. And the miners, of course, having to commute back up and down. It's up to you guys to do things.
I come downstairs and greet the barkeep if he's there or whoever's behind the counter.
Yeah, it's still Toblin. You're not entirely sure if he slept. He just seems to be standing in the exact same spot when you walked up the stairs.
Good morning, friend. I was just wondering whether I could have a quick bite for breakfast. What would you recommend at the moment?
Oh, let's see, for breakfast now. I mean, we've only had the fires going for about 2 or 3 hours. Let me have a think here. I actually have a notepad on this. Where the fuck did I put it? Ah,
As
yes, of course.
Toblin goes and rifles for a notepad. I mean, wait, what?
For a menu, for a menu. Let's see, we've got got some of the beetroot pancakes on. Could do you a nice bit of rare bread, that's always a popular one. A couple of baked spuds still. If you want to go a bit fancier, a bit more expensive, I've got the cheese wheel, could bring that out. And, let's see. Oh, yes, we got this pea soup. It's been sitting since yesterday, but it's getting nice now. The skin's a good inch thick. It's beautiful.
That sounds delightful, but I think I'll have the baked spuds, thank you very much.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's just a plate of cross-split baked potatoes.
Delicious, thank you, sir.
He
How much
tosses-
would that be?
You know what? You're Sildar's lot. I'll give you the benefit of a breakfast.
Oh, thank you,
On one condition,
gentlemen, sir.
if I go up to that room, it's not shit, it's not pissed, it's not nibbled, it's not scratched. Right?
Oh yes, I cleaned it up before I left this morning.
Right. Also,
it
you
was-
haven't shit,
after
you
I
haven't
got
pissed,
up,
you haven't scratched, you haven't nibbled. Right?
Yes.
Okay, good. There you go. Enjoy your
When,
breakfast.
when I
Ollie.
got up in the morning, I'd cleaned the room out and got rid of all the dust and got it nice and tidy. Better than when I got there in the morning before.
You insulted my housekeeping.
No, that's what he's going to find when he gets there.
Alright, that's a freebie breakfast for you.
I imagine that this time Cornelius had actually packed something to eat beforehand, so he doesn't have to live on peasant food.
And Droop serves it to him, of course.
What?
Droop, of course, serves it for him,
Yes, of course.
arranging the tray,
Mm-hmm.
after being sent to wash up 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does almost a mockery of the serving he did for Cornelius for himself, with his own smaller little tray made out of rough wood.
You don't even give him a metal tray. You
He seems fine with what he has.
Well, servants
He
shouldn't
made
have a tray
that.
in the first place.
Also, he made that. Don't be rude. He made it with love.
As the 2 shut-ins dine in their room together. Who's next to wake up?
Siegfried gets up and goes down, leaves the tavern, finds the nearest guard, hands him my report and tells him to give it to Sildar.
Right. As you were, sir.
Go back and grab a quick bit of I think he did cheese on toast. I can't remember what he called it though.
Yeah, that's the rare bit. You're comped, of course, as he's just trying to take in the new you, which is the old you. It's been a long time since I've seen you that clean, that tidy, that alert, and that lucid.
Ah, yes. I will mention some of it was an act, but some of it wasn't.
Was stabbing my furniture an act?
Sorry, no, not that one. I've still got a few bad twitches from the adventures we had previously.
Right. And as he slides you dinner, he also slides you a fork and spoon, not a knife. Enjoy that one.
Thank you.
I'll probably be the next to come down. I'd gotten up early, but I was trying to meditate, although it didn't work out very well.
Sorry about the noise when I was cleaning the room. I apologize.
No, I didn't much notice.
Turns out they came out of the same room.
So I'm going to go up and I'm going to ask what are the options for breakfast.
Well, I already told the short one before. Got the beetroot pancakes, got the rare bit. Still got the pea soup. Nice and thick. Just sort of clings to the spoon. Let's see. Got the bakes. Well, actually, he cleaned out the baked spuds, come to think of it. We didn't keep that many. We could do you some sweetbreads with a bit of veg.
I think I'll go with the second option.
Right, cheese on toast it is. We give it a splash of wine, of course, for a bit more pep.
Well, that'll be quite lovely for traveling.
Yeah, and for old time's sake, although you're new, But for old time's sakes, with those lot, as he points over to Siegfried, I'm comping this, so don't worry about it. Enjoy.
Well, thank you quite kindly. And then I look over at Siegfried and I go, oh, you actually clean up quite nice.
I nod at her and continue eating my breakfast.
And I come down, surprised to see that Siegfried is actually up before me, and looks like Siegfried.
Indeed, you've seen him in quite a state on the few times you've visited the town.
Just go to Toblin, exchange a few words. I got bearded smile and toast.
Yep. Everyone loves a rarebit. Quite common these days.
Hair of the dog with some toast.
Last one. Pio.
I know, I'm thinking.
Okay, just making sure. Any conversation in the room? Just a fling of crumbs through the beard.
I don't believe about talking with my mouth full, so I'm just going to be rather quiet unless somebody else speaks up.
A couple of the miners do come in. They enjoy her. They've probably been traveling the whole day, or the whole night. I've got a look of them. One of them sitting down with a bit of blood running down his shoulder. They're just chatting quite loudly, just talking about how his bloody griffin nearly got the horse. But the guards put the boot in and managed to chase it away. It could have been worse. He hurt, as one of them says, a couple of weeks ago, 2 bloody owlbears wrecked one of the carts. They had to run away on the horseback, riding bitch. But that's just the trouble of the forested path. They can't really afford to clear the whole place out. And a few more filter in these time. Farmers, good filthy hands on them. Very loud and proclaiming their good mornings to Toblin. They're a bit more aggressive. They get the meatier sort of meals. Settle down with big tankards. Very slowly, the place just sort of has that bustle of business. Little bits and pieces.
I get up and wave goodbye to the barkeep, and head out and just go check on the cart and the horses and make sure they've been properly taken care of and watered.
Yeah, as you walk up, you do recognize Chauncey there, running back and forth along the livery. Just doing the morning feedings and waterings, checking the hay. He hasn't quite gone into the nastiness of shoveling yet, but all the horses look fine.
Oh, good. I greet him in passing.
Wow, Wow. Dad, I saw a fucking weirdo! It was weird and scaly!
I greet him and say, hello, I'm Zenzel. How long have you worked here?
He's got this big smile on his face, eyes are wide. Not quite entirely sure that you're real. He wasn't really paying attention to you before because he was focusing on his job yesterday to make sure he didn't fuck up.
Oh boy.
I've been doing this about 3 years I was.
Oh, interesting. Has your family been in the area long?
I've no idea. What are you? You're really weird.
I am a cop. Yes, I'm weird. That is probably
You're
quite
like a dragon or something.
Oh yes, my family, my ancestors date back to dragons. Yes, not quite like a dragonborn, but similar.
But they're big. What are you? You're small.
Oh, my race is called kobold, and I believe you are called a human. Oh, this in my place, you would be considered weird. It's just a matter of perspective.
Those were all very large words. And this is a simple village boy. But he's just too stunned by what you are and the weirdness.
Okay, how's he reacting to the wolf that's now sitting beside him,
Hasn't even
looking
noticed.
up at him? Oh, excellent.
Yeah, this isn't one of life's survivors.
Okay, I ask him, hey, could you please get me a bowl of water for my wolf? And pointing at the wolf now looking up at it, that's now sitting beside him looking up.
That's a really big dog.
Oh yes, yeah. Don't worry, he doesn't
Oh,
bite
that's
much.
awesome! He's a really big dog, and you're a really tiny dragon.
Yes, we make a strange pair, but it's a pair we do make.
I don't think I'm allowed to feed it or give it water. I've really got to work on the horses. But you'll come back later,
okay,
right?
No worries. Maybe, I don't know.
Right, well, I gotta
I'll
get back to
probably
work.
back
I'm gonna
at
get
some
a belt
point.
round the ear.
Oh yes, get on with your work if you must. Most important.
Bye, little
Thank
dragon
you.
guy.
It was great meeting you.
Yeah, it's great meeting you too. Wow, weird tiny dragon guy.
I think at this point I'm probably gonna go towards down the stairs and start pulling out the wagon.
Droop is slightly ahead of you, checking all of his steps as he's been taught to do.
I lead out the horses and get them prepared.
I mean, you try to.
Hey, I can communicate with animals. It's not a problem.
I mean, they're a little confused at first, but you managed to convey that, hey, you're in charge now. And they trot on out.
I come down the stairs
So
eventually.
I see you already went ahead and got the horses. Somehow.
Hang on, back to Casalia.
I come down the stairs eventually, mostly my nose buried in a book I have. I take a seat at the bar and order something light for breakfast, applying the same seasonings I did the previous night.
Yep.
Something spicy.
The lightest he can give you is the cheese on toast, but it's been fluffified. It's very fresh.
Perfect.
And a nice, juicy cider. Freshly picked, he claims, anyway. Room was to your liking?
Absolutely. Very peaceful.
That's great. See, we...
Something I greatly desired.
Yep. I
I'm
mean, we
trying
don't
to
have the same
peek at
sort of...
what the book is.
Oh, sorry, what?
I'm trying to peek at the book she's got.
Are you making attempts to hide it?
No. It's a book of what looks to be recipes, but they're all written in Infernal.
No, I don't know Infernal.
Looks to you like strange, satanic gibberish.
Well, I do know Abyssal.
Well, you can tell it's not abyssal. It's more orderly. But it's still, it's still got that same kind of nasty lettering. It's just got that implication. Like how Draconic looks like it's been carved and clawed and bitten. While Dwarvish looks like it's been etched in the stone. Abyssal
I'll make
and...
a note and I get back to my toast.
Yep. It just gives an implication of this is by something nasty. And yet she's just reading up how to make a souffle. Possibly.
Making a souffle is dark. Making a souffle properly is dark magic, isn't it?
To get it right.
Getting them to rise.
Gotta do a few virgin sacrifices to get the rise. Rise! Rise!
Arise, chicken. Chicken, arise.
Chicken and rice? That sounds like a good idea for dinner.
Well, there you are all gathered at the inn. Kobold with a couple of horses in tow.
That's not going to cause any strange looks. No.
One of the horses
No
biting
more
down
than the
on one of his-
kobold acting as a manservant.
One of the
You mean the
horses
goblin?
just trying to flick her lips and gnaw on one of the horns of a kobold.
Well, is everyone ready then?
Quite ready.
Yes, I believe so.
Who will
All
take
set
the
here.
reins?
Suppose we'll probably do it in shifts.
Well, we can't all fit in the cart, so we're going to have to, yeah. It's going to be interesting when we're coming back with somebody else.
Well, they will be royal, so I have a feeling they'll be in the cart.
Or we can pick up another one when we over there. One more to the point. Appropriate one.
It is a civil war, so I suppose that might be applicable.
No war is civil.
I
Hello.
bite my tongue.
Hello there, the companions. Let us be off. Let's just start this journey, so we may get underway.
Fair enough. And then I just sit up and start taking the reins. Indicating for people to either sit up or start walking.
Droop immediately scrabbles up and then tries to take the reins. No. I should do it. I'm the servant. You shouldn't have to dirty your hands, sir.
Oh, God.
I think for this occasion we'll make an exception. Well, thank you, Drew. Go sit in the back.
I just shake my head, and apparently I'm not getting up on the cart, so I'm going to be walking for a bit.
I mean, the cart
Man.
could handle about, with the 2 horses and all, it could carry most of the party. Just fitting you all in together. There'd probably have to be one who'd have to sit out front, but that's the driver anyway. Obviously, it gets a bit more complicated for Wolf.
Yeah.
But yeah, since... I mean, you've probably got a few packs of supplies once we deal with purchasing later. Yeah, the party could still fit, it just wouldn't be hugely comfortable.
I'm walking, so
Yes, it's morning. I'll walk yet. I don't want to be jammed up quite yet.
Didn't you get yourself a Clydesdale?
No, I was going to, but then Cornelius realized that he was paying with all of our money.
Well, there's still 528 left.
Alright,
And I
you're all
believe
agreed
somebody
then?
else also has a horse.
Yep, Castalia did arrive on a horse. It's just a normal horse,
I mount
that
up
wise.
and fall alongside.
And off we go then.
Oh, also, Arshel, I forgot about this. Chauncey does inform you that the horses, one's Neville, one's Artrudian. And the third is called Steve.
is that Steve with a PH?
Yes.
A strong and noble name.
I'll need to note them down in the spreadsheet for when I murder them. I mean when things happen. Okay, and so you set off from Phandalin. It's been quite a while since at least the 3 of you ever had a group to set off with. You'd gone your separate ways. It's almost nostalgic, really. Once more, you have the wizard, the shifty one, and the bearded one. All moving as one, heading out through the wooden fences, then into the expanse of wilderness. Well, to the tamed wilderness at the moment. Past that stone circle if it fucking weirded you guys out and you wouldn't go near. It's still there. A little more moss on it, a little bit worn. And set off at first down the Tribor Trail, which will then join up onto a larger road, as you've been told. As you set out, who is keeping an eye out?
I'm walking, so I'm most certainly keeping a track on what's going
The kobold's definitely looking around, just seeing the world as it is and just enjoying exploring it.
Oi. And the pace you're moving at? You can go slow, normal, or quick.
Guess as quick as it will allow people to walk beside it.
I don't think we actually need to have anybody walking beside it.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
for
apparently if-
purposes of it, you can just move at a quick pace, fine. Just imagine people are trading off if you get tired.
I'm quite capable of hopping on a cart.
Exactly.
Well, we kind of want to find people alive when we get there, so probably heading off a reasonable pace.
So you're just going normal?
Probably a normal pace, because if we go too fast, then the horses might get tired.
Alright, whoever's looking out, there's two of you. Roll yourselves a perception check. Zarsul, you're at disadvantage since it is still daytime. Bright. It's something you've still not gotten used to. You've been on the surface for a while now, but that sun's still bright and still seems to burn right to the core of you. Fortunately, the half-elf is, one would almost say, impressively paranoid in keeping an eye out. Watching all approaches, keeping track of everything. And the kobold himself isn't doing too shabbily either. Just has a knack for this sort of thing, really. At least for now. As you're walking along, it's a familiar route for half the party. You remember the time you dealt with the bugbears by spotting them and then they backed away. Further up the road, there was that horrible scene with the gnolls and the cart wreckage, and that small traumatized girl. You've actually seen her around the village now, and she started to talk again. Just a few words, but it's improvement, it's progress. You never heard back from Kindra. She just seemed, last rumors you got, she just headed north and kept going. And as you trundle along, now it's into the expanse of proper wilderness. I mean, as far as it goes here. It's just tall grass. The road itself has been gouged out heavily thanks to all the new businesses going back and forth. And for most of the day, it seems like everything's going fine. There are one or two carts that pass you going towards civilization. None of them look all that desperate, just look like simple travelers. And then night falls, and you make camp, I imagine. Or are you going to try and push the horses?
I'm going to suggest camping.
I'm fine with that.
This is standard operating procedure at this point. I see no, I raise no objection.
I'm just telling you the option exists.
Yep.
You
Camping
can find
sounds
a nice bad guy's house to sleep in.
Well, I mean, you all know you're another day's ride out from Coneyberry. And that lovely cottage. Alright. I assume you're doing shifts to keep an eye out?
Mhm.
Yep.
And here's a question.
I volunteer for the first shift
Here's a question. How are you all feeding yourselves?
with food.
I mean, you can buy food.
I assume we bought supplying rations. That was going to be something
Yeah.
sorted out
Yeah.
later. But yeah.
You can chow down on rations if you want.
Can I use survival to see if I can find some food out in the wilderness?
I'm going to say this will take up your slot on the watch. It's what you're doing. But since it's nighttime, you won't be at disadvantage for it. So roll me survival, see how well you do at hunting and foraging. Tell you what, I'll give you advantage since the wolf is with you. And it's kind of a natural at this sort of thing. Yeah, not bad, not bad. You managed to find a small little creek you're able... Oh, that's right, disadvantage. Gotta wait for the second result. Okay, still pretty good. You're able to find a couple of small... Like, you have to wander off pretty far from the road, but you manage to find a few small creeks. You'll clear enough water, at least when it's boiled it'll be fine. I mean, you check upriver as well, there's still fish going through it, there's nothing concerning or anything about it, and hunting-wise, you don't manage to find any particular herbs or weed as you're looking for. But you do find a bull, full-grown, juicy-looking.
Sounds good.
One quick arrow and it's all over. I mean, there is the issue of it's a bit heavy for you, but with the wolf, you're able to drag it back.
Oh, excellent. I return with our meal.
Now, here's a question though: where are you setting up the camp? As it is, you've got the road. To the right, you've got large expanses of thickly overgrown grasses, shrubs, and bushes. It's kind of flat terrain. To the left, you've got sort of scrubbier land, but then it goes into forest, light forested area. There's space between the trees enough for a campsite if you wanted.
Probably won't be a wise idea to park right next to the forest, as things might just easier sneak up on there. It'd be probably easier to be in the open to see what comes at us.
I take it you'll have your goblin clear the area a little bit?
Of course. Where else will I sleep?
Yeah, Droop is trained to clear out the area for Cornelius. No one else. He is an expert though, as he scrabbles around on all fours, getting mud and dirt all over his outfit, as he just picks up little stones, twigs, leaves, clears everything out of the way, before unfurling Cornelius' bedroll himself. And then, for a finishing touch, a leaf of mint on the pillow.
Excellent. Remembered this time. Good.
Big smile, broken teeth. I mean, they're clean. Sort of. Can't really get rid of some of those stains.
At least no professional will get near those teeth, sadly.
It might with enough gold.
Yeah, but let's just say like daylight robbery.
Alright, who's taking first watch?
I'll take first watch.
I'll take second.
I can take third.
I'll take the fourth then, or
Okay,
if I
that's
need-
it. There's 4 watches.
Yeah.
Cornelius, of course, sleeps throughout. As does Droop. He's not been told otherwise, so he just bunks down with Cornelius. His own smaller bedroll right beside. Alright, it's still... Let's see, do you have a campfire going?
I assume I've lit a campfire to cook the pig on after I've cleaned and dressed it.
Yeah, the party gets a treat as he comes back. Wolf and Kobold having to work to bring back this full-sized pig.
I of course offered assistance in getting it ready.
Takes a good pork peeling. Alright. Rain, roll me a perception at disadvantage. Because it's dark as hell.
And what's the roll that I'm looking for?
Perception is your wisdom or wisdom proficiency if you've got it tagged.
+4.
Added disadvantage.
So roll
So you
twice.
roll it twice and take the lower. See, that 18 would be nice, but you're probably not going to get to keep it.
I don't know. She could roll like the kobold. He did pretty good at disadvantage.
He did. Which is good for him, because he'll have to do it all the time he's in daylight.
Ooh, that's
Eh,
rough.
As you do a little walk around the perimeter, everyone else in their bedroll. I think you guys actually had tents at one point, didn't you? Or did you never purchase them?
I don't think we ever purchased it.
Yeah, so you're just in your bedrolls in the elements. As you do a little walk around, you keep an ear out. There's some life out there. You can hear a few things shifting away some distance in the woods. Bit of bird life, some of it quiet. And there's a scuffling of small little things trying to survive. Nothing abnormal, just seems a little bit... No, it seems pretty normal to you.
Well, I won't raise the alarm if I don't hear anything's relatively big.
Alright, so you nudge awake, you have the next one to take up.
So I give Siegfried a nice little nudge.
Well, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Your turn, buddy.
Okay.
Alright, Siegfried, you're on watch. It is pitch dark. And you are a human with no dark vision. There's the campfire, that's still going. But otherwise, all you've got is that little 30 feet of dim light around you.
And the ears. Yep.
And the ears, yep. So that's a disadvantage roll. Nope, that was some weird stat roll or something. Down here. You don't have a plus or anything to it?
Ah, a plus. Yeah, that's right. I was trying to work out how to get that to work. Let me see. Perception +5.
Alright. You do pick up on something. There's a little less... Yeah, there's not that many birds about. You'd expect some in the forest. The scuffling all seems to be going in one direction, too. Nothing all that big moving around, but you can hear... Just a little absence of nature in some bits. But you don't see... Well, yeah, of course you don't see, but you don't really sense anything emerging into the light of a campfire. And your shift ends.
Okay. I nudged the next person in line. What's that?
Oh, yes, right. Whew. With a soft yawn, I go to assume my duties.
Do you keep the campfire going?
No, I don't think it's too cold out, so I don't think anyone wants it.
The Hellborn decides the rest of you can suffer in the cold.
I'm okay. I've got a wolf for a blanket if need be.
Yep.
I too could have a wolf for a blanket if need be.
Alright. Give me a perception check at disadvantage. You do have dark vision, but it's still a disadvantage for sight checks.
Alright.
Bit of a weird ruling that there. Basically, it lets you hit things without disadvantage. But for searching and all, it's still at a disadvantage.
What the hell?
Yep.
I feel cheated.
Yeah. Also, ouch.
I always have bad rolls.
Oof.
The problem is you've just got this habit. As you're puffing on your pipe, that's the sensations you're most picking up on. You got the flavor in the mouth and nostrils, just puffing out. You've got that nice little relaxation going. And it's nice not to have anything pulling at you or anything during this moment of respite. But thankfully, what's approaching isn't all that clever. Branches are being snapped, and from the forest, there comes a rattle. There comes clanking of metal. Stepping out from the tree line, just about visible by the glint of moonlight on the blades and armor, are several skeletons. 2 of them humanoid, 4 dwarven, and 1 much larger. The skull, large, bovine, in its hands a great axe. A minotaur skeleton.
Jesus.
Alright. I just want, for now, Castalia to roll initiative.
Alright.
That is your dexterity.
Yeah,
D20.
that's Dex plus proficiency, right? Or proficiency
you don't get
only if it's
proficiency to it.
improved. Oh, no, that's right. There's no improved initiative.
There sort of is with some of the class choices, but not for just statting up. For example, Zarzul actually has advantage on initiatives because he's a ranger. A revised ranger.
Oh, he took the fancy one.
Well, he took the one people actually want.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. Where the fuck is their page? There we go. Okay. Okay. That's a decent enough roll. You've got time to do something. You've got an action.
Well, obviously, I shout to wake everyone up.
Alright, let's see here. Let's see, yeah. What's your passive perception, guys?
14.
It's straight up 10 plus your wisdom, I think.
15.
13.
14.
Alright. Rain?
14.
Okay.
If you ever need
14 else.
scroll.
Everyone except Cornelius is awoken by it. Cornelius, roll me at disadvantage to see if you can pick up on it.
What do I roll? Just regular perception?
Yeah.
He's just too comfortable in that bed Droop made. The area was cleared a little too well.
Yeah. Wizard isn't waking up.
Yeah. Sadly,
Just turn to
four's,
the other side.
yeah, sadly, 4 is not enough. On the bright side, while you're rolling over on one side, so is Droop. He is also quite comfortable in snoozing. But the rest of you all rise up, and I'm going to need initiatives from you all. Also, something to ask. Who was sleeping in their armor?
I was, because I was in leather.
Of course.
Yeah, I was in leather, so I would be probably sleeping in armor. Probably my tidiest stuff anyway.
We're learning so much about you two.
I was not.
Okay, then you're just down to your dex and your shield.
It's D20 plus 2, which is your dex modifier.
Oh boy, okay.
So it's what's my AC then? Dex
Is 10
plus
plus
shield.
dex plus shield, if you have one.
That's not actually that bad. Could be worse.
Well, luckily for skellies. And now for this biggin. Oh, perfect.
Oh no.
Okay, initiative, Siegfried.
6.
Ooh. Castalia.
Was I supposed to roll another one?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
you
that was just to see if you
oh.
got an action or not.
Alright. Sorry. 8.
Fair enough. Malgern.
18.
Wow. Very uncharacteristic. Cornelius.
Well, I actually have a dex modifier this
None.
time.
I'm still asleep.
Rain.
Why should I roll initiative while I'm still asleep?
Rain.
Might help if my mic's down. 11.
Okay. Zarzul.
23. And the wolf got 16.
Damn, the kobold is
Well,
on point.
Now we know who Speedy Gonzalez is.
Well, doesn't he act on your own initiative?
No, he's separate.
Yeah, he does. He is separate. That's right. Oh, I'll keep track of him that way. Damn, Ranger's making it awkward for me, theater of mind style. Okay, top of a round will be obviously Zarsul. As you rise off your bedroll, you can see to the north, actually, come to think of it. You can see a couple of skeletons just barely on the edge of your vision. You can see a few more behind only by the glint of a metal being reflected in moonlight. They're about 60 feet onwards from you. Actually, the kobolds have longer night vision than that.
Dark vision 60 feet.
Yep, okay then. So yeah, you can just make out two of them. But you know there's more beyond, you just can't make them out with any clarity. And the two you can see, one looks dwarven and one looks human.
Okay. Oh, I guess I'm gonna fire an arrow off at first I'm gonna mark the human skeleton with a hunter's mark. And then fire an arrow off at the human skeleton.
Okay, I don't think you get advantage or anything, do you? It's just extra damage.
Extra damage, and I also chose undead as my hated foe, as it were.
Ah, your favorite
So
enemy.
I get some more for that. I'm not too sure how that works, but yeah. Let's see if I hit first anyway.
Yep, roll it. That is just enough to hit. As your arrow twangs off from you. It looks a little bit weird seeing this small draconic dude pull out a bow and fire off an arrow. But he does quite effectively, as it just funks right into the skeleton. Roll your damage, which has multiple types to it. So let's see, which is it's a short bow you've got or a long bow?
Longbow.
So it looks even weirder because this bow is probably just quite a bit bigger than the kobold.
Yeah. What's the additional for hated enemy?
Oh, you should know your own class stuff. Let's see here. Where's my UA bit? Which is annoying because the UA, because Revised Ranger isn't in any book, it's in a PDF. Let's see. Favorite enemy. It's just +2 bonus damage. So you've got a bonus to your modifier, basically. It's a D6 of extra damage on mark? Jesus. I suppose it's your big main spell. Alright, let me just try to get my sheet up here. Wow. And with a single arrow, he just shatters the bone man apart. It just manages to catch right through the spine, and there's just a clattering of powder and bone. And whatever necrotic force was powering it is just gone, obliterated. There is now one less skeleton standing there.
Okay. At the moment, I don't think I'm going to move any closer. I think that's basically the end of my thing. I can't, unless I can yell at somebody as a free action. But yeah.
I mean, you can communicate between the party, but trying
And
to
the
yell for
guy I want to
Cornelius to
yell
get
at's asleep.
Yeah, trying to yell at Cornelius so I'd make a bonus or something like that there, because you're trying to force a change in the battlefield. Just informing people is fine, though. Like, for example, Siegfried, who cannot see anything right now, whatsoever. If only there was some magic man who was able to flick light about.
And everyone else just yelling, "What do you mean? They're right in front of us. Where?
Is that your turn, then?
Ahead of us. Are you blind?"
Alright, so that's our Sul over. Next up will be... Malgern.
Well, since I was stirred from my sleep, I'm not wearing armor. I grab what I can, which would be the tosser, since it's smaller than the longsword. So I have that and my shield. How far away are the skeletons?
Let's see here. You're probably... yeah. You can make out the debris of one skeleton, a dwarven skeleton beside it. They're near the edge of your vision. Now you can see one more behind them, and that's it.
About how far is that?
They're about 60 feet away.
Then I'm just gonna move my full distance towards the dwarven skeleton, because that's an abomination.
Nah, it's an undead.
Close enough. And that's all I got. They're too far away.
Well, you could always try to toss.
Can I Oh, it can go up to 60. How does the 60 feet one work?
It's a disadvantage, but you still get a chance to do it.
You know
But
what?
he's moved 30 feet forward, so shouldn't he be at 30 feet now?
He is, but the short range is 20.
Yeah, it's 20, so
Ah.
I'm still...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a basic throwing weapon,
Oh.
so 20, 60. I don't know why they do it like that, but they just do.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oof, waste that roll.
What do you mean waste that roll? It's a fucking 13. But as you fling it off, it manages to clatter against an old rotted shield, which falls apart a bit. And then, boom, the tosser is back in your hand.
Lovely.
And, for the sake of it, Castalia does notice this. Quite a crafty little piece of equipment. Alright, next up are two of the dwarf skeletons who start charging forwards. They're actually moving pretty well considering they've shed all their flesh. As they stomp forward, they're... let's see. Yeah, they're actually about 20 feet away from Malgern. And then, as they come to a halt, they draw their bows. Let's see, okay. Let's see. One arrow just sails right past, whistling by Malgern's ear. The other, however, strikes him hard in the chest. As an old, gnarled arrow just clunks into him. It's not the worst blow he's taken, but that's 6 points.
Ooh. Alright, noted.
And as it's sitting there for a moment, the decay just settles in and the arrow snaps in half.
I'm just going to assume that he rolled really high, because you didn't even ask AC.
Yeah, it was an 18.
Oh, yeah.
It was already your AC, if you were wearing armor. Well,
No,
nearly.
my AC with armor is 19,
Yeah,
but yeah,
like I said,
I'm
nearly.
at 15 right now, so yeah, that hits.
And next up are two more dwarf skeletons. One of them actually manages to close the distance. It was the one nearest to you. And the other one is still, all it's clutching is an old rusted axe. Luckily no bow on this one, but this one, I mean the one that managed to catch up to you, I mean, brings down its hammer and it just clangs off harmlessly. You just managed to bring up the tosser's hammerhead in time to just deflect the blow. Alright, that's Sam done. And next up we've got... Yeah, next up will be Rain. So you're now looking at Malgern. He's got... Let's see.
Where's my wolf in the list?
Oh, that's right. Your wolf would
I
go
was
now.
gonna say, I
Yeah.
think the wolf's next.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
At least you didn't forget Siegfried.
Haven't
Okay.
got that guy yet.
Yeah.
As a bonus action, can my wolf let out a piercing howl to try and wake up the stupid wizard?
I'm gonna like this kobold. He called it a stupid wizard.
I'm going to warn you. If your wolf howls, something may answer.
Oh,
You are in the wilderness, I will point out.
Well, I mean, yeah, he has a point. Shit.
If you're willing to risk it.
dear. Hmm.
In the bright side, it would be
Okay. Okay, never mind on the bonus action then. It moves over to the wizard.
He could do other than howl, you know. There are other ways of waking someone up that isn't necessarily shouting.
Okay. It moves over to the wizard, cocks his leg. No. Just tries to shake him awake.
Oh yeah, that's no bother. Cornelius, you are awoken. Roll initiative.
What's Droop? No, just 5 minutes more.
Wakey wakey, hands off Snaky.
What?
Oh, no one else watch My Name is Earl?
I think that would have been just as weird. I get to roll initiative now.
Although you'll be going next round as you get yourself awake.
Yeah. Okay, it's +1.
Unless he rolls really well.
Hey, fortunately
He
not.
doesn't.
Wow, that's tidy. All right.
Oh,
the
well,
wolf-
I imagine that's all of the wolf's moves.
Well, it wouldn't have the movement to get up to the skeletons anyway. Because it's moved about 10 feet to get to Cornelius, and then the skeletons all around Malgern, they're about... One of them's 30 feet away, then 35 and all, you know. Hello, yeah. Yep,
At
okay.
least get it heading in that general direction, though.
Yeah, it'll move up.
Yeah, movement's 40 feet, so...
If move up, it wouldn't be able to attack, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, stay back for the moment.
Okay. So next up will be Rain.
Alright, so about how far away from these undead am I?
Mulgurn is about 30 feet away, then 35 for one of the skeletons, and about 45 for the two with bows. And there's a few more in the distance, but you can barely make them out.
I'm going to move up by Malgurn. And then I'm going to be trying to channel turn undead.
Oof, that's a wisdom save, yeah?
Let me... Yep. Wisdom saving throw.
Alright, you're going to use your channel divinity. What's the range on that?
30 feet.
Okay. So you're able to get free of them. And your DC?
It would be... $14.
Okay. The two with bows start clattering away from you. Is it on their turn? I think it's on your turn when they do it, just immediately. Despite playing a cleric, I've never actually had the opportunity to use it. Let's see. Channel Undead. DVD. See, turn undead. Okay, must spend its turn, so we don't move yet. But the necrotic energy around him looks disrupted for a moment. The two bows look shaken. Alright, anything else? You got a bonus action?
Nope, I think I'm pretty good just hiding behind the big dwarf there.
Okay, so you're right up against them, but behind?
Yeah, a couple steps back.
Okay, so...
Nothing.
Alright, next up will be... Castalia.
Alright, well, let's see. One skeleton, two being going to be running away. I wish I had a good image of the battlefield. I wish I had a good image of the battlefield. Or just the general layout of where things are.
Well, the moment you're just in a... You know, because you didn't go into the forest itself, you're just in a nice, flat, grassy area. Up ahead of you, to the north, is Rain and Malgern. They're about 30 feet away with him. Right beside him is a hammer-wielding dwarf skeleton. Slightly ahead of them are two slightly shaken archer skeletons, both dwarfen. And then
Alright.
further on ahead, in the darkness just beyond your sight, which is one of your dark vision anyway, is the implication of more.
60 feet.
Yeah, they're further than that. But you can get the glint off them in the moonlight.
Alright. Well then, I guess I will throw an Eldritch Blast at one of these shaken skeletons. Maybe shaken, but he's not down.
Yep.
Do I toss? I'm not sure. Do I toss on proficiency on that?
Let's see. Spell attack mod. I think it is proficiency. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, then. Does it apply to damage as well?
Nope. Just your modifier for damage. If you took the invocation for it.
No, I don't have.
Okay,
improved
so it's just a
Eldritch
straight
Blast.
dice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a clear hit.
I don't think I'll use an invocation on it though.
Alright. How does this look whenever you lash it out? Any particular flair?
Probably things relating to smithing. So like hammer, a cinder.
Oh, I just meant more like your pose,
Anvil.
really. Any flourish, like a wizard.
No, not really. Not at this moment. I'll have flair later, but not right now.
You just flick out a hand. Boom. Out comes this
Pretty
spectral, green, ethereal hammer. Just flies through the air and smacks one of the archer skeletons clear in the skull. Taking off most of it, but it still stands. Let's see, that was this one. 8 damage, so 7 health. Okay.
Alright, then I advance 20 feet towards the skeletons, and that'll be my turn.
Alright. Next up will be Siegfried.
Okay, how far away is the nearest skeleton?
You have no idea.
Okay.
It is pitch black.
Well, I know roughly which right direction the rest of the party went, so I'm going to light my little lantern.
Alright, now you can see. You can see that they're north of you.
I'm going to probably start getting close to Malgern. And I don't think I'm going to get close enough. Am I
Whoa,
right?
whoa, whoa! We're just friends, buddy. One step at a
You can
time.
get close enough to the one trying to smash him with its hammer.
Okay, in that case, I'll attack that one.
Really wish my tablet worked. I could try Roll20 and then I could at least draw the battlefields.
No, no, no. Wait, we've grown accustomed to the ASCII art. I demand ASCII art.
Ugh. I don't know, I just hope it does alright for you guys. I imagine you'd all prefer tokens in a grid.
23.
That is a clear hit as you drive forward with your short sword.
$12 damage.
And a solid shank. As you just stab forwards, let's see, what was this one, in fact? As you stab inwards, just, they're so old and fragile, so worn out by necrotic energy. But the ribs just come apart as you stab through. And now it's getting horribly lopsided. It's just the vertebrae are starting to bend inwards, no longer supported by bone. Or by ribs, I mean. So let's see here, so... Yeah, that skeleton is not doing well at all, as it's just sort of teetering over horribly.
And as my bonus action, I help Margoon.
Alright. So let's see here. That's your turn over, Vin?
I believe so.
Alright. From the woods comes this strange, hollow snort. Like, it's exhaling, but the chamber it's coming out of just seems to be reverberating very strangely. And then large, heavy steps as this thing thunders out. Huge skeleton, like that, like something you'd expect to see inside an ogre or bigger. And a large cow head. Cloven hoofs just shorn of all flesh. In its hands, a huge fucking great axe. As it stomps past the archers, and then... Let's see. Yep. As it's getting closer, it brings its head down. And it goes for the nearest target it can find, which is Siegfried. Standing beside the dwarf. As this huge mass of Minotaur skeleton just barrels towards you at full speed.
Oh, crud.
What's your AC?
16.
I mean, it's good. It's not enough, I'm afraid.
Oof.
As this thing just... Let's see, roll me a strength saving throw. Ooh. As this thing basically stun lancers you. Just brings its head down and then flicks it upwards.
I'm not going to do well.
All of you with dark vision
Womp
get to
womp.
watch as Siegfried sails through the air for a moment, getting launched 10 feet away and landing square on his back.
Typical Siegfried.
His guts wrenching as he takes 17 points of piercing damage.
Yeah.
Crap.
Oof.
This is
You
why
are-
I didn't want to go.
You are afraid of the furniture.
The weird thing is, this thing is just, it looks like it's roaring. It looks like it's baying out, but there's no sound coming out of it. It's just this horrible clattering of the bones. And that's its turn. So we're top of a round now. Zarsul, you just watched the human go airborne.
And it was so enjoyable. Okay, I'm going to move my hunter's mark from the dead target to the new one, which will be the Minotaur.
Alright, you're aiming at the Minotaur now.
And I'm going to let loose with a bow again.
Okay. And yeah, the Minotaur is currently 30 feet away from all of you at range. Mulgurn, it's right beside you. And right beside Rain. It's a little further away from
Wow.
Siegfried now.
21.
Yep, that's a solid hit. Roll your damage. there's all kinds of modifiers to it.
I didn't copy that. Well,
How's your health sitting, Siegfried?
Beep, beep, beep.
How does it feel to have level 3 numbers again?
I'm just glad it wasn't level 2 numbers.
Jesus.
that's a solid hit.
That is a solid hit. Just launch it through. You shatter a few ribs. But, you know, it's undead, so it's still going. But, I mean, that was a fair chunk tore out of it. It's a bit more robust than the other skeletons, though. Alright, next up will be Mulgurn. Mulgurn, there's a big fucking Minotaur skeleton right beside you. With an axe that's about 3 times the length of you.
Yeah, we're just gonna try to hit it.
There's
I
also a
mean,
skeleton
what
with
else
a
can
hammer
you
right
do?
beside you, too. That's sort of bending inwards on itself.
You know, yeah, we'll go after the skeleton. That's the dwarf one, right?
Yep.
We need to take it out.
That's a solid hit.
He's got advantage, so he can roll again.
He can.
Oh yeah, I could get a 20 then. Roll that again. Holy shit, I did it!
Yep.
So how do crits work again? Is it
You double the dice.
Not that it should have much life left.
No, there was no way he couldn't not kill it. As just with a swinging backhand. There's a moment where it's just sort of springing up to try to right itself, and you just batter it back down, the whole top half coming loose and just turning to powder. That is a remove skeleton. So got your bonus action.
do?
Still got your action surge.
Will I recover a short rest after this combat?
Well, you're all doing a long rest.
So yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna action surge and try to hit this big fuck off Minotaur.
Alright. That's a solid hit. A good strike. A singular strike, if you will. And you just bring your hammer out. Just sort of, you're almost, you know, from the backswing as you backhand into the skeleton, now you're just bringing it right round again. The clunk of this thing in the shin. You snap the sort of, like the tendon bone that sort of sits behind the ankle. I can't remember what you call it exactly. But that just snaps under the attack. And you see the thing shift its weight a bit. And then glance over its shoulder. With a snort of fetid air. Still got your bonus action.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I think I'm fine.
Okay. Next up will be the Skellies. Unfortunately, these are the two that were turned, so they just run away. Going a full 60 feet away. Next up will be a wolf.
Okay, the wolf runs in, and he's going to have a shot at this Minotaur.
Yeah, he's able to get in range well enough. I mean, deep down, there's this great appreciation of Vada's many bones.
And he wants them all.
Yep. I think it only works. I think his prone thing only works on medium creatures and below. Yeah.
Let me have a look. It's there's a test against it.
Yeah, but I think it only works on creatures that are medium or below because it's a wolf. Let's see here.
It doesn't say anything about size.
Huh, it doesn't, weirdly enough.
Target must succeed on a DC 11 strength saving throw.
Yep, it passes though. I mean, there's this wolf gnawing on its leg, trying to throw itself around, but there's a lot of mass on there.
This is a DM thing. Does my wolf get the racial hatred thing?
No, I don't think so. Anyway, let me double check.
As far as I could tell, that was up to the DM.
Let's see here. Favorite enemy. And then, okay, no mention of it there. Beastmaster.
Expanded companion options it's listed as, I think. Oh, no, it's your animal companion benefits from your favorite enemy feature. It's on page 6 of the revised Ranger.
Yep, okay, I see it.
Yeah, because you would have trained your companion.
Well, it's kind of weird because their animal just appears when they get third level.
I'm supposed to spend time summoning it and spend resources.
Yep. But it's just kind of weird that bit where they show up at level 1 with no animal. And level 3, they've got this trusted companion they've known all their lives. There's a reason some campaigns don't start at level 1. But yeah, he gnaws mightily. He's just trying to pop bone. Trying to crack through it. Now, let's see. Solid 12. And yeah, it's going good damage. Alright, that's its turn.
Yep, I don't think it can do anything else.
Yeah, sadly, Wolf doesn't have bonus actions. Alright,
Or
next
maybe it cocks its legs and pisses on it.
up. That'd be a full action. It's taking balance for that. Alright, next up is one of the remaining skeletons. Let's see here. Yeah, this was the one that... Yeah. This is the one that was behind the archers. It wasn't able to shuffle it far enough, but now it's just lumbering in. This is the one for Rusted Axe. And it's going to swing for... Let's see here. Yeah, I can't really tell any difference, so it's just going to walk right into the spot where its previous one was and try to swing at a dwarf. Feeling a special hatred for the living version of its own race. That's an 18.
That's a hit.
You take 6 points of damage as it just brings the axe down onto your shoulder.
Oof.
And then that's it for its turn. Next up will be... Rain. You watch Siegfried go bye-bye.
I was about to say, Siegfried went bye-bye. How far back is Siegfried?
He's about... Yeah, he's only about 5-10 feet away from you.
Alright, then I'm gonna head over to Siegfried, and I'm going to do an ever wonderful... Let's...
Fair warning, if you move away, you will take an attack of opportunity from the Minotaur skeleton.
Ooh.
Because you moved
Oh,
out
never
of his
mind.
range.
No, he can stay over there half dead. So I'm just gonna heal Malgurn.
Typical Siegfried. Wow.
This is why he drinks.
One
if
of
the
the
dwarf
reasons
gets,
he drinks.
if the dwarf gets rid of the minotaur, then I'll go help him out. But otherwise, the dwarf needs some help. So I'm gonna use I'm gonna do a first level spell slot for a cure wound,
Alright.
which.
Also,
I'm
if I
at-
was worried we're going to be ending the session at the end of his combat, because I know we ran a bit long, but hey, it was the introduction.
Oh yeah,
Oh no, this is fine.
we took a nap. So
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah, I know
do,
Scotch at least has a morning ahead of him.
crap.
So
My
yeah, it's just
Discord keeps
2d8
popping
plus
up.
your modifier. Although, as a grave cleric, you do get some bonus to that, don't you?
Do I? Because I don't have it written down.
Xanathar's Guide to Everything. I really need a shelf. Circle of Mortality, let's see. No, okay, it's only when you're restoring from 0.
Oh, okay. So that means.
Yep, so just
do
2d.
you-
No, it's just plus your modifier, not your proficiency.
oh, my modifier. Oops.
Yeah, so it's plus 4.
I had it.
So there you go. You got yourself 13 points of health back.
13 points. All right.
You are slightly more intact.
Actually, that puts me at full.
As he looks back at Siegfried.
Well, if Siegfried can come up here, he'll get one. I've even saved some second level spell slots for
I
him.
mean, he kind of, given our history, I don't know.
That's the end of your
Don't
turn.
worry about me. I've only got 2 health left.
Well, I'll use my bonus action to yell back at him, saying, "If you get up here, I'll heal you too."
That's right. If you get back, and as she's saying this, the Minotaur skeleton is right behind her, looking at you. It seems to be agreeing with her. Get right back here. All right, is that your turn?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Next up is the other human skeleton. It's just clattering past its fleeing short bowman. Sword raised high in the air. Jaw agape, but only because it's hanging only by one attachment. Just clattering and rattling the whole way. Alright, next up will be... Who is the higher dex mod? Castalia or Cornelius?
I've only got +1.
Yeah, so do I.
Alright, ladies first then, Castalia.
Alright, well.
30 feet ahead of you is the mishmash of Rain, Mulgurn, the Minotaur skeleton, and one with an axe, a dwarven skeleton. And then 10 feet back from that is the crumbled heap that is Siegfried.
Is it possible to hit the dwarven skeleton?
Yeah, you can get a clear enough shot on it.
Alright.
Oh, also there's a goblin at your feet still asleep. Very large snot bubble.
Oh, there's this. I don't want to do evil, but I can do so much evil.
It's kind of a tiefling's thing.
I'm going to use my action to conjure my pact weapon.
Alright.
A giant two-handed maul.
She just sort of traces her fingers through the air and then An ethereal green, tinged with a lot of black, tinged with a core of darkness. Just forms up. Is it ornate looking? Is it just plain?
You can go fancy with decorations if you want.
It has a lot of etched lines. No change of material. It's just solid looking iron. But it's expertly carved, deeply, fractally, in fact. Very straight lined. And then just in the hand, huge, heavy, but solid. Just the faint wisps of darkness around it.
Right, and that'll end my turn, I guess. I'm not really sure what else I can do.
Well, it's up to you if you want to move up or anything.
Not quite yet.
Okay. And you still get your bonus action. You might have a spell or two for that.
Actually, no.
Okay.
The one that I do have for a bonus action, it would be very useless to use right now.
Okay. Cornelius, you're up.
Yeah.
You've just watched Castalia show off with magic.
Well, I guess I'm not the one to be outshined. So behind the struggle that is going on in front of me, from what I can see of a shape moving, I summon up a flaming sphere.
Yeah, that's a point you can see thanks to Siegfried's lantern.
Well, also kind of this shuffling in front, like I imagine. But the flaming 5-foot diameter sphere appears behind the Minotaur.
Alright, just this horrendous ball of fire.
And it says as a bonus action, I can move it and slam it into another creature.
Yep.
Because otherwise it has to end its turn inside the 5 feet of the spear to take damage. So as I stand there, I would like to slam the ball into the Minotaur.
Alright, it's a saving throw, isn't it?
It's a dexterity saving throw, and it also take half of the damage of the fireball.
Well, it doesn't even look like it tries to move. I rolled a 1.
Oop. Yeah, it had to 14, I think.
Thanks to the wolf gnawing on its feet. And the smash from Mulgar, and its legs just aren't going anywhere.
So yeah, it takes 2d6.
And it's also a concentration spell. So
Yeah,
keep an
and
eye-
it lasts up to 1 minute, so I can keep pinging this thing around until something hits me.
Yep, 10
breaks
rounds. And it takes 8
8.
damage as just the back of it blackens and crackles.
And it also casts a 20-foot radius of bright light and 20 feet of dim light.
Yep, it's real fuck. Mulgurn, Rain, you're quite warm now. You're also very brightly lit. Thankfully, not sunlight. Alright, and is that your whole turn?
Yeah, I don't think I can do anything else.
Droop continues to sleep. He's got a very wide smile on him, and there's a flutter of his blankets near his backside.
Thankfully, the flames are away from me.
And last but not least, Siegfried, it's your turn. You're on the ground. You just got gored by a big fuck-off bone bull. You saw the stars. And now all you can smell is damp grass and your own blood.
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing to do is stand up.
Yeah, it's half your movements. You got 15 left.
Here's the question: did I bring my crossbow with me or not?
I mean, if it's in your gear, it's in your gear.
Okay, in that case, I drop both my swords. I drop my swords and then shoot it with my crossbow. Stuff getting closer to it.
On the bright side, it is engaged.
And it is also lit up in light, so you can actually see it.
That's a hit. Roll your damage plus your backstab. Let's Let's see, after one turn the effect is gone, yeah? For a turn undead. Time to check. And
18 damage.
For
Oh.
1 minute.
1 minute. Also, if one took damage, and one actually did. But, never mind. 18 damage. Where it took you up, you took it down. You aim carefully, line it up, and you send that bolt thudding through the entire length of its skull. And the thing just staggers there for a moment, nothing but a little shard clinging to the vertebrae. Then the axe drops, then the whole thing falls backwards onto the sphere of flame, just shattering and crumbling as the heat blasts it. The Minotaur is gone. But its impact is still felt. In your ribs, on your back, in the confusion of your head.
And I help Malgern again just to give him an advantage on the next roll he does.
Alright. Well, it was going to be the Minotaur's turn, but it's gone now. Top of a round, Zarsul.
Okay, there's another dwarf skeleton in the mix at the
Yep,
in the
there's an
melee.
axe-wielding dwarf
Right.
skeleton right beside Malgern. There's
Yep,
also...
that now is
Yep.
the hunter's mark on it.
Alright, that one is now...
And once
marked.
again, the arrows fly out. Well, arrow.
Yep, Sally's a Beastmaster. You do not get extra attack anytime. Kind of weird, that.
$15.
And what are you rolling advantage for?
Pack tactics.
Good. Just double checking. Well, that does beg a
Is
question. Malgern, are you a friendly creature to the kobold?
In the moment, yes.
I think it says allied. Doesn't mean friendly.
That's a stronger
true.
question.
Yes.
Are you allied to this kobold? But yeah, roll your damage. You just draw back, just let loose, and you don't even watch as just bones are shattered everywhere. So many flecks of shrapnel just spewing into Malgern and around the surrounding area. There is flecks of long dead dwarf clinging to his beard now.
Oh, better than the smell of burning bone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's stinky as hell.
he's got a nostril full of cremated. Alright.
I move forward, probably about 20 feet, just so everything's still within range.
Okay,
but,
you're about 10 feet back from the
not-
front line, which is just Malgern now.
Yep.
Not even
And I
an
think
enemy
that's
there.
my move.
And that's all your stuff, so next up will be the skeleton who shouldn't have been running away because it got damaged. It's going to draw its bow back, and it's going to let loose an arrow at the only target it can see, because the wolf is blocked by the sphere of flames, and Malgern's the closest. There's a theme here, if you notice.
Womp womp.
Yep. But the arrow just sails past as the rotted bowstring just can't really get the force for it. Just fuds into the air about 15 feet away. Let's see. Next up will be... the other one is still running away, clattering loudly. Although it gets behind a tree, so it's ready to go back again. Let's see here. So next will be after these guys. The wolf. The wolf.
The wolf.
The
Okay.
wolf. There's
That wolf is
the only
on
remaining
fire.
skeleton nearby, past the sphere of flames, is the sword-wielding human one. It's about 15, 20 feet away. It's easily reachable. But he is by himself.
Yep. And okay. And the skeleton was an archer that didn't run all the way. How far is that?
He's about 40 feet. He's further away, yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. He's
Okay. The
actually
wolf
on the
attacks a
extremity.
closer one.
He's 30 feet
Yeah.
away from there. Okay, so it goes for the sorter. The human skeleton.
I think so. Yeah, for now. Can I hold its turn?
What are you looking to hold for? What's your trigger?
Well, basically, it's when somebody else gets next to it, so you can go in afterwards.
All you can
Bonus
do
of
is hold
attack
your
tactics.
action. You can't hold movement as well.
Okay, never mind then.
So you can move up and you can say, I'll wait for him to... He won't attack until someone else is right beside.
Yeah. Yeah, move up to the swordsman and just wait till somebody gets there. Then he'll take his action to take advantage of pack tactics.
Alright, smells cheesy, but I'll allow it. Alright, next up is... Well, they're gone, so that initiative doesn't count anymore. It's gonna be Rain. Actually. Or no, what am I talking about? Fuck. Mulgurn, I forgot his turn.
I thought I had.
Had you
Yeah, I
gone?
did-
No, he started it again.
Yeah, you hadn't
Oh,
gone yet.
okay, yeah, then.
Yeah,
okay.
you're meant to be before the wolf. But it doesn't change the situation. There's still that skeleton in front of you. About 20,
That
15 feet
skeleton.
away.
Then, yeah, I'm gonna run up and try to hit that skeleton.
Alright. His action goes first, then you can roll for the wolf.
Wait, so who rolled?
You roll.
So I can go ahead and roll?
Yeah,
Okay.
you roll.
I just heard his action, and I'm like, okay.
And you have an advantage, because Siegfried is helping you. Far away, on the ground.
Somehow.
Hey, I'm standing up now.
Well, what do you know? Thanks for the advantage, buddy.
Consistency. You still hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, damn.
Funny thing is, he didn't have to run up to it anyway.
I thought it was
And-
farther.
Yep, you're using your tosser. Actually, I forgot something very important.
Great weapon fighting. Great.
No, I completely forgot. The tosser does double damage,
Because he's undead, or.
because it's a hammer.
Oh, blunt. Yeah.
Yeah,
shit.
you're breaking bones. Plus side, that
yeah,
is more than enough anyway. As you just shatter
Oh,
that skeleton
okay.
apart.
Okay.
The wolf looks a little bit disappointed.
Oh, well, seeing Malgun was supposed to go first, I guess he'll just carry on to the next skeleton. It'll be the non-running archer, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Going to allow this.
That's a hit.
18 to hit.
And
Not
the wolf just tears off one leg. Then goes in for the
okay.
other. Then goes in for the arm, then the other arm, then the head. It manages to rip off the vertebrae and the skull and just gives it a shake, then smashes the skull down. That is a fully dead skeleton.
Aha.
Tail's wagging, of course. It's enjoying this.
It might not for much longer, but never mind. Oh, well, that's it. One more skeleton to go, as far as we know, I believe.
Yeah, it's hiding behind a tree. Rain, you're up.
So now I can actually go help Siegfried out.
Hmm
I'm going to go over to Siegfried, and I'm going to do a Cure Wounds 2nd level spell.
Alright, that's 3d8 plus your mod. Could potentially be very excessive.
I can't spell. Oh, there we go.
Yep, that's way more health than he has.
Yep. And then again, it could have ended up worse.
But you just watch as he takes a deep breath, and now both sides of his chest are even, instead of one being slightly dented and collapsed in.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you much.
I'm going to wander back over to Malgern so that I can support him when we go off, and then I'm done.
You know, there's only one skeleton left, and it doesn't have a fucking chance here. So whoever wants to can chase down that undead.
Is it? It's. Can I still see it?
Oh, you've got no idea.
I'm just sending the flaming sphere after it.
I was just gonna take my turn and smash it.
Yeah, I'd say it's between the flaming sphere and Castalia. You can roll your damages. But I think she's going to be able to destroy it no matter what. Because the maul is blunt as fuck.
Oh, that's right.
8.
16.
Yeah. That's more than its max health. She just sort of takes a puff, marches onwards as a flaming sphere chases it down. As it pops out from behind a tree, just a big overhead swing, and just shatters it from head down to pelvis. No one will be able to tell what species that skeleton came from originally now. There is no evidence.
Also, I hope the wood isn't on fire because the sphere will ignite stuff that is unflammable.
Yeah, there's now a horrible black trek of burned grass leading towards the edge of the woods. And as the flames remain there, things are starting to catch. Bit of the underbush, some of the side of a tree is blackening and gnarling.
I unsummoned the fireball.
One of the trees is just scarred horribly along its side with blackened bark. That weird squaring of red as the heat gathers in. Your first successful combat as a team. A bit lopsided. A bit awkward. A new painful memory.
Just quickly, I concentrate for a minute to know if I've got any more undead within 5 miles.
Within 5 miles? There's a big source of undead. Nowhere near you. Just on the edge of your senses. Further to the east. But then you already know this, because you've been told by Toblin about Coneyberry. And at least for the maps you have here, you know that it's nearby. Alright.
Yeah, I was about to say, I assume we go through the remains of the undead and go back to sleep.
Yeah, I was about to say check to see if they have anything good, and then I'm ready to go back to sleep.
I'm assuming there's only a big axe and pretty much nothing else of value.
Everything on them is horribly rotted. The only thing of note, strangely enough, is a pristine leather belt. The buckle's tarnished and rusted, but the leather's fine. Might be worth a couple of copper.
If nothing else, you could always use to be as a brace for a broken leg.
Or to bring a vein up for Zarzul when he's done with the weed and wants to get into the harder stuff. But yeah, the great axe is intact. It's Completely undecorated, it is just solid, massive metal.
I mean, we have a wagon if someone wants to haul it along. I'm not interested.
We could just throw it at the back of the wagon and sell it later.
Yeah, we're going to a place where wars are going on. I mean, they'll want the odd weapon. We might be able to sell it for reasonable.
It's a little oversized, but with some blacksmithing, as in just chopping off the end, it could be serviceable. It could be usable.
Those just be melted down, make a new weapon.
Bingo.
I mean, the materials aren't that good, but yeah.
Hey, when you have no other metals around,
Don't complain with the narrator. At this point, Cornelius decided to walk off a cliff. It's strange. He closed his eyes, tied up his own hands, and just walked.
And there was much rejoicing.
No, Droop had to tie his hands up.
Droop went on to carry his spellbook and use all his spells, but in cooler ways.
So good.
Alright, Siegfried, do you still want to do... Oh no, it's actually... It's Malgern's turn for the final watch.
Oh, so it is.
Any change to the camp after this combat? Any conversation?
I put my armor on. Giant hole in my chest now.
How's your health doing?
I don't know. No, you fixed the hole, so I'm just mad that my shirt is now covered in red stuff.
Your
can
beard's
mend
got
that for
chunks of
you.
skeleton in it.
Yeah, it's gross. My beard has chunks of skeleton in it.
I can fix the hole. Do you want me to fix the hole?
Later. Perception.
Bradir gained his first heart points with rain. And again,
Dark
because
vision.
disadvantage.
Oh, fuck. What
Yeah.
dark vision good for?
For being able to attack without disadvantage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
slightly less good.
you're more alert, you're primed and ready to go. The adrenaline is just gone and wasted because... Yeah, you can hear nature coming back a bit. There's more scuffling, there's more tweets. A whole procession of birds screaming out that they don't want to die. There's this horrible moment when you can spot and you think of fucking course. You can see a squirrel in the branches watching you.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not doing anything abnormal, it's just there, scrubbing at its hands. And then skitters off again on the branches. And then morning arrives. No further problems, no complications. Droop is incredibly well rested.
Okay. I get up and start making breakfast for everybody from, I think we'll have pork.
And for now, we will leave off with the adventurers. And we'll get back to this next session.
Alright.
Well, haven't done that for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it shows.
It was fun.
Yeah, I had fun.
I would like to roll insight on that.
I'm
I'm
not very
joking.
talkative, but I do have fun.
I'm only joking.
Certainly did have fun.
Well, that's good. That's good. And we'll be doing this weekly. Maybe some interruptions, maybe some breaks. But each week around this time, although for probably an hour less, maybe 2 hours less.
That's what the nap was for.
As you quest on to Raxus. And now I can flick up, just for fun, my intermission image. Because we didn't have one this time. Ta-da!
See this.
It's a good gif.
Yes.
So yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Especially hope the players
Back
had
when
fun.
dwarf was a class, the best class.
It was.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully see you all next time.
yeah, hopefully.